What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30NSG, and on today's show, it's a slow news week. We have lots of we covered the news stories that are current, like now, and everyone's writing stuff about Battlefield. So we have lots of Battlefield 6 news and stories. We have a community update coming from their own blog post talking about open beta and the road to launch, and a couple of changes what they've made inside the game already. We're also going to talk about Battlefield 6 producer says Bad Company 2 was a huge inspiration for the new game, and you can't argue with his logic. So we'll talk about that. We're also going to talk about Battlefield 6 producer admits was missing the excellent. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's the same one. The other one is Battlefield will introduce a classic maps based on fan or player requests, and I can already see where this is going. We're also going to watch Legendary Drops video. Labeled "There's no way they are this stupid." Sounds like a good video. I think Roic posted that in our Discord yesterday. And then we're going to talk about over 9,000 people are sitting in Battlefield 6 open beta on Steam right now. Game's not out yet, but there's 9,000 people sitting and waiting for this thing to come out. And we're also going to talk about EA is reportedly censoring all mentions of Arc Raiders in the chat function. So if you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Give me 1 second. Chat's not popping up on my screen. Chat is not popping up. All right, let's scroll up and see who's all here. Good morning, Travis. What's going on? Sarge, Robert Jones, Roic. Good morning, Brain Eclipse. What's going on? Big Mad Mo. What's going on? Wonder Rose. Good morning, Rachel. Rachel, what's going on? Dolphin, how's it going? El Nini, good morning. Thank you very much for every single day you guys show up and hang out with us for a couple of hours. If it's minutes, seconds, hours, I do appreciate you very much. All right. Yeah, the news stories right now are Battlefield 6 related. That's what it is, right? We have a couple other stories, but they're just not interesting as far as like we got the Nintendo thing, Nintendo asking feedback for the Switch 2 feature. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We got the MasterCard situation going on. People have been talking about that as much, and that's what are you gonna do? What you can do, all right? So just lots of Battlefield. Lots of Battlefield. So that's what it is. It is what it is. Eclipse with the 22 months. About to hit that 2-year mark. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Congratulations on congratulating me. And congratulating you for almost hitting 2 years. Appreciate you, Eclipse. Oh, okay, so let me Eclipse gave me a code yesterday, right? For the Battlefield 6, right? He was gave me a code. I took that code and I put it into where I was supposed to go, right? I linked my account, which is I thought my EA account, to that code. When I log in, that code is in that account, and that account is not linked to my Xbox account. And I was like, this is my account that I've had since 2008. I don't understand. What's the problem? So then I find out I have another account that's been hooked up to my account for my Xbox since 2008, right? Which is my old gamer tag that I had. And I was like, son of a bitch. So I had to claim it on PC instead of the console, right, for the early access. So then I went through the whole process. I'm like, all right, I'm going to download it, and I downloaded it for Steam. But then when I tried to log into Steam, like to log in just to see if it works, it tells me that I need to have secure boot on my thing. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't have that. So I have to go do that. And I'm like, well, how do I do that? So I ask Eclipse, and Eclipse sends me a video. And now I do exactly what they told me to do. I booted up my computer. I went to the thing, went to the boot system. I clicked on the exact same thing he clicks, and it's not there. And I'm like, Well, how do I do the secure boot if it's not on my system? So apparently, my motherboard, because it's too old, okay, is too old that I can't download the secure boot for my computer. So I don't know if I could play Battlefield 6 on my computer with the early access, okay, but I can play on the Xbox when it comes out on the 7th and 8th. I was like, what in the freaking hell is going on here? Right, the joys of PC gaming, right? And I was like, and here's the best part, right? I was like, well, maybe I'll just unlink my EA account with my Xbox account, right? And it goes, warning, if you disconnect this account, you can't log into another account. I can't link it to another account. If I unlink it here, I can't link it here, right? It's only one account link per history of the thing. And I'm like, what kind of stupid shit is this? So there's where I'm at. As far as just trying to get the demo, right? Just the beta. Early access to the beta. Couldn't do it. What's going on, Water Bear? Mo says, yeah, I got 2 accounts as well. Yeah, it's crazy. It's stupid, and I forgot. I mean, 2008. I think I actually have an older account. Eclipse says, yeah, I forgot that you had to boot secure, and I had the old motherboard. Sorry about that. That's all right, Eclipse. I appreciate it. Battlefield wants to hack your system. They want something. They want something. Mo says, I also try to relink. Yeah, you can't do it. You can't do it. Waterbear says, well, don't worry. The early beta will be a shit show. You won't be able to log in until after the prime time because the servers will shit themselves. No, see, I think the opposite, Water. I think that the demo will be fine. I think the beta weekend will be fine because they know the amount of people they're letting in, right? They can flow the valve of, the best way I can describe this is like water, right? You can flow the valve of water to let how much water you want to come in or out. That's what's happening right now. This will be fine, right? It's the launch. It's the launch that's going to fuck up because they have no idea the amount of water that's behind the pipe when they open up the valve. You see what I'm saying? Like right now, they know how many people are interested that are coming into the beta. They're like, we're allowing this many people into the beta. So they know. They're like, yeah, open the dam. We know how much water is going to come in, and then we'll just close the valve. Once launch comes out, that valve is open, and that's when it completely breaks the dam. That's what's going to happen. That's the bet. Where's Z? Now, that's a good analogy. It wasn't a food analogy. It wasn't a band analogy. It wasn't a car analogy. It was a fucking water pipe analogy. There you go. Robert Jones says EA Origin Launcher is also terrible. Dolphin says, I've also been done so many times. I just CRT alt delete the scream. This is 2025, bitch. Why doesn't this work? Eclipse says, well, I forgot that the first Ascendant stuff happens on the 7th, so I might not even play the beta early. There you go. What takes priority? Ray says, I don't know how many BIOS is configured to lazy to replace the CMOS battery. Too lazy to replace the CMOS battery. I don't know how my BIOS is configured too lazy to replace the CMOS battery. I mean, all you have to do is just open up the thing and pull the battery out and then pop another one. That's really lazy, Ray. That's really lazy. Like you just unscrew the 2 screws, you pull the thing off, and the battery's there. You just pull it off. Unless you have one of those computers that's like wedged in there behind the thing, then I understand. Waterbear says, remember Diablo's launch day? Pepperidge Farm remembers. Dolphin says, remember every Destiny launch ever. Yeah. No, it's going to happen. Everyone's so hyped up right now. Everybody I watch or seen videos on about Battlefield 6 is there. I get it. I get it, man. When I was 20, 25, 30, 35, I was there. I get it. I'm not shitting on the people's parade that wants to be excited. Like, this is the greatest thing ever. This is so good. I get that you want to have fun. I get that you want to play a game. I understand. I'm skewed. I'm burnt. Okay. They hurt me, right? EA, Battlefield hurt me. Okay. If you've ever been burned before, you're like, I don't know, man. I just don't trust them. And I'm going to stick by it because I'm more likely to be correct. Okay. I'm more likely to be correct that the servers are going to break and they're going to move more towards Battle Royale once the Battle Royale comes out than me not being correct. And if I'm not correct and it is just Battlefield again, well, then great. Then we're back to zero. You see what I'm saying? El Nina says Helldivers 2 had to increase the bandwidth on their Azura servers multiple times. Yeah, because you'll never know. It's super. I defended Helldivers 2, right? And they were very vocal. They were 6 hours afterwards, they were communicating. Right? Helldivers, you didn't know. They had 1 million people play their last game. They didn't know they were going to get 12 million people to play Helldivers 2, right? Wasn't in the forecast. There's no way they could predict that. So like, yeah, we only had 1 million people play our last game, so let's get this server. Right? Then they're like, oh shit, we gotta hello? Yeah, we need more server space. They're like, all right, well, let's calm down, sir. What seems to be the problem? We got 12 million people trying to play our game. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. What you're gonna have to do is you're going to have to call your boss, and your boss is going to have to call our boss, and our boss is going to have to tell you it could be a little bit. And they're like, we just need to get people into the game, right? They were freaking out because they couldn't open the valve. The valve was being blocked. Okay, they couldn't block it, or it couldn't unclog it. Right? Now, Battlefield, they're expecting, let's say, 8 million people, right? 5 million people, 8 million people, right? I think they're going to get a shit ton more. And then what happens is it just all crumbles down. Waterbeard says, come on, Ray. That's lazy. That's just a battery. Come on. Waterbeard says, I don't understand how servers are still shit on launch day. It's 2025, but they're using 1989 servers. No, what it is, Water, they just don't want to pay the money. Because it's not like you be like, hey, can I rent a server for like 5 hours? No, they have to rent it for the month. So they're like, yeah, we need space. They're like, all right, great. We'll give you this many servers for this amount of money for this amount of time. And they're like, okay. Most companies don't want to spend the money because they don't know what the player base is. They would rather spend the money once it stops and go, all right, well, we filled up that quick. All right, let's get the next server. Dustin says, I might have to get Mafia Old Country 10 hours. What's 10 hours? The game's 10 hours? I mean, I guess it's a good size. I've said between 12 and 15 hours is a good size for a game now. Like, I don't want a longer game, personally. But I'm also not interested in the Mafia Old Country, so. I saw a screenshot the other day. I thought it was Indiana Jones. Honest to God. Honest to God. I saw a screenshot, and it was out in outside like a desert area type of thing. And I was like, oh, is this Indiana Jones? I was like, oh, it's Mafia. Dolphin says, Ray looks at the screwdriver, then looks back at the device and says, fuck it. You don't even need a screwdriver. You don't even need a screwdriver. They're just twist. They just twist. You just twist it. You just twist off the things. El Nini says, I'm not pre-ordering unless a couple of buddies want to squad up. I suggest nobody pre-order. It's not that I want to shit on or hate on. I'm trying to help you. Let me help you. right? Don't pre-order. Just because if the game is great and it doesn't have any problems, you got to hold. You got to hold. You'd be like, all right. Because let's say a lot of people are just holding back. They're like, I'm not falling for this hype, right? And then all of a sudden their friends get it and they're like, dude, the game is so it's amazing, dude. It's the greatest game ever. Battlefield's back, baby. Battlefield's back. And everyone's like, oh, I got to, no, I can't do it. And then like, fuck it. And then they buy it, right? Then they buy it. And then they log in. But so does a million other people because they break down. Servers are fine, right? Servers are fine. It looks like it's fine. Everyone's like, servers look good. Everyone goes in. Second wave comes in, and that's it. Then the first people are like, now you're sitting there watching streamers trying to get into the server. You're like having a watch party, watch people in, and then everyone's just in the server going, I'm in. You're in? I'm in. You're in? Oh, my God, I'm in. I'm in. I got in. You got in? I'm in. All right? It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? 13 hours later, they're like, I'm still not in. I can't believe this. I can't believe this. I bought this game on day one, and I can't believe I'm not in. Robert Jones says, I hope servers breaking is the worst problem. I do. I think that is the worst problem, Jones. I've said I think the server's going to go down, and also a couple weeks afterwards when Battle Royale comes in, and then the shift changes because more people will play the Battle Royale than Battlefield game itself. It'll be interesting to see what happens then. Travis says, I don't know. Some people like being burned all over. They're called Hasbro fans. Eclipse said, Legendary Drops just dropped a video. Why do you pre-order? Sounds like a good one. Definitely going to watch it later. If he just dropped it, I'm not going to watch it. We're watching his other one that came out a couple days ago. Charlie Hawk says, I bought the Phantom Edition and forgot about Arc Raiders. You forgot? Okay, hold on a second. You bought the Battlefield 6 Phantom Edition, and you're saying you forgot about Arc Raiders, or you're like, nah, fuck it. I'm going Battlefield. I forgot about Arc Raiders, right? That's the way I'm taking it. You're like, I was in Arc Raiders. You got hyped up on Battlefield 6, and you're like, fuck Arc Raiders. I'm going Battlefield 6. Is that the way I'm taking it? Sarge says, did you see the Diablo clone coming out? Exactly the same HUD, UI, but some of the reason Activision isn't suing the crap out of them like Nintendo did for Pal World. Are you talking about, I forget what the game is called. Titan Quest 2? Is that what you're talking about? Waterbear says, isn't it always better to be overly prepared, like Batman, than underprepared? Yes. Robert Jones says, yeah, it's about the money. They ain't trying to pay anything extra. Right. For servers? Yeah, they don't want to pay the extra servers. And again, that's not an EA thing. That's in general. People are like, why put the money out? Because if you put, let's say 100 servers, right? You have to pay for 100 servers, and then you only fill 5. You'd be like, well, that's a lot of money you wasted, right? That's a lot of money you wasted. You just gave it to somebody else. They're like, we'd rather be under and then lift it up as it goes. But the 100 million player. but the 100 million player. The 100 million players is for the Battle Royale. I think that not for the game. There's no way they think they're going to sell 100 million copies. There's no way. Dolphin says, people limping into Battlefield 6 servers needing therapy from Black Ops 6. Yeah. Waterbear says, Mafia Old Country is 10 hours long. I'll wait until it goes on sale. They're putting bugs in Fortnite. You know what that means? Helldivers mode? Wait a minute. They're putting bugs in Fortnite? Not going to happen, Sarge says. No pre-order, no day one, no paying full price, no half-ass games. Ray says, Helldivers 2 needs to be playable with Xbox Cloud Gaming. Have they announced if it is or not? I don't think they have. Yeah, releases. Arc Raiders releases just 20 days after. 20 days after Battlefield. No, they're not going to get 100 million. The only way they're going to get 100 million is I can tell, right? Is if Battle Royale like just is phenomenal. But again, as I said yesterday, if the Battle Royale is phenomenal, that means Battlefield is not. It's just Battlefield by name. It'll be the Battlefield Battle Royale. Right? A lot of people are excited about the look, and I get the game landscape has changed, right? A lot of people are excited for the portal where you're making your own maps and stuff inside, like the Forge in Halo, right? Like Fortnite and all the other stuff. People are excited about that. That to me also loses the identity of what Battlefield is, but I get it. You know, I understand that I'm the old school gamer, and the new school doesn't care about that stuff, right? They just want to play the game and have fun, which I want to have fun in Battlefield, which I can, right? They still have the rush mode. They still have the conquest mode. They still have the breakthrough mode. They still have that type of stuff, right? In Portal, I can go play the older games of Bad Company 2 and whatnot, right? There's that for me, and I get it. And I understand that they have to open it up to the new gamers where they want to create and they want to spend 100 hours making a map and whatnot. Totally understand that. I just feel that the more game modes they add, the more larger trends they go add into as well, as far as the Battle Royale, and if they add whatever else later, it just pulls away from the base. And what people don't actually look at is if, let's say every game is like what Fortnite is, right? If every game is like Fortnite, which is Fortnite has a whole bunch of rooms in there where they have different game modes, different things, and then you have Minecraft, which does the exact same thing, and then you have Roadblocks do the exact same thing, and then you have, let's say, Battlefield's in that category now, right? So now you have, instead of having one or two games that do this, now you have 10 to 15 games that do this. Well, what does that mean? Like, what happens to games then, right? Where now you have 15 games that are doing all the exact same thing. They're all where you can create stuff. They're all with the BR mode or the extraction mode, and nothing changes. It's just like that's the brand. Then it becomes like a brand loyalty type of thing instead of a gamer just playing games to have fun. Like if I want to play a Battle Royale, I'll go play a Battle Royale game. If I want to play Extraction, I'll go play Extraction. But what they're doing now, the way they're making stuff now, is that they're like, hey, you want to play Battle Royale? Well, don't play this Battle Royale. We have a Battle Royale in here. Right? It's like what the big box stores used to do, or what they do, right? When they first came in, they're like, hey, we have all of this stuff too. You want a garden section? We have it here. We have a bedding section. It's over there. We have a supermarket. It's over here. You don't need to go to the supermarket anymore. You don't need to go to this to get the stuff anymore. It's just a one-stop shop. And every game is a one-stop shop now. They all have a horde mode. They all have a battle royale mode. They all have a creative mode, and it starts to like dilute what it is. But that's just my opinion. Warbear says August 26th is going to be awesome, but feel weird at the same time. Helldivers on Xbox and Gears on PlayStation 5. Yeah, what a world. Cats and dogs living together. It's mass hysteria. Yeah, Titan Quest 2, Sarge. That's what I said. They need to make Battlefield 6 last gen at 30 frames per second. They need every player possible. Technically, Ray, they don't. Right? They don't. There's 75 or 70 million people playing PlayStation. Now, obviously, they're not going to play Battlefield. There's about 40 million playing on Xbox, and there's a billion playing on PC. Right? They don't need everyone from every system to play. They just need a large portion, right? If you get 50% of Xbox, let's say it's 20 million people try it, and then you get half the people on PlayStation, which is 35. That's 55 million right there. And then there's the other people on PC that could potentially, down. They're not going to hit 100 million. So it's a lofty goal. That's like me saying we're going to hit 100 million subscribers. It's never going to happen. And I say never because it's never going to happen. I'm a niche market, and there's no way in hell that my channel will ever be that big. Right? You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's people that will hit 100 million, but because they're more broader in general, they can do that. Battlefield is never going to hit 100 million copies. Sorry, players. That's a lot of players, man. That's a lot of players. Unique players, 100 million? That's going to be really hard. Like, I don't even think Grand Theft Auto has done that. And think about this for a second. I don't even think Grand Theft Auto's done that. They've sold 250 million copies. But you got to remember, most people own 3 copies, 2 or 3 copies. So they don't even have 100 million people. They have 280 million or 250 million sales of copies sold, but I don't think they have 250 million players. But they would never tell us anyway, right? They just tell us a number. No, Ray's saying that if they want to hit that 100 million, they would have to put it on the old systems. He's not saying you have to put it on the old systems. He's saying if they want to hit the 100 million, at least that's the way I'm taking it. I'm sorry, House. Did you say $13 for a gallon of milk? What type of milk was it? Was it gold? Clip says the Battlefield is definitely more on PC game. People are still playing 1942 on PC. Right now, there's a surge on Battlefield 2042 and Battlefield 5. I think Battlefield 5, last time I looked, it was like 9,000, 10,000. And Battlefield 2042 was around 7,000. People are just going... This is how big Battlefield is getting people, like, they get the itch. They're like, I got to play. Some big streamers were like, I had to play something. So they went back to 2042, and then they deleted it. They played it, and they're like, I'm done. They're so hyped up on Battlefield that they have to play a Battlefield. So they went back and downloaded the old Battlefields while waiting for the next Battlefield. Roic says, "How did WoW ever hit that peak?" No, I don't think so. You got to remember, WoW was only on PC. And when it came out, here, let's look it up. Let's see. World of Warcraft's all-time peak. World of Warcraft all-time peak player count was 12 million subscribers, reached on October of 2010 during the Wrath of Lich King expansion. I don't know. That's what it says. Was it breast milk? Ray says it was Luke Skywalker blue milk. Delvin says that was some breast milk. Yeah, $13. That's insane. $13. I paid for milk. I get the A2 milk, whatever, because I can't have regular milk because it makes me like make me start an engine, right? I think I paid $4.95, right, for the one I buy. You're paying $13? Jesus Christ. Hey, Cliff says, was it milk from Sweeney? Yeah, did it have a American Eagle? Did it say Sweeney has great genes on it? And then charge $13? Roic says 100 million. That really setting the bar high. You might get 1/4 of that. Might. I think they'll sell between 10 and 12 million copies. I think that's it. Right? Obviously, as it goes on and stays out longer, people will get it on sale and whatnot. But that's the core. That's the core of Battlefield. 17 is the most they've ever sold. And I believe that was Battlefield 3. We look at this up all the time. Here, let me bring it up. Okay, let's make it nice and big for everybody. So, PC, Battlefield 1942, 2.47. Okay, 2.47. In 2004, Battlefield Vietnam, 1.36. Okay, these didn't come out on console. Okay, 2005, Battlefield 2, 2.25 million. Okay, 2005 on PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, Battlefield 2 Modern Combat 1.64. Battlefield 2142, 200,000. 200,000, that's it. Okay. Battlefield Bad Company 2.59, and that was huge for them. Okay, that was huge for them. Then Battlefield 1943, which was on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, was like a $20 game, $3.64 million in 2009. 2010, Battlefield Bad Company 2, $6.54 million. That was unheard of. They're like, oh my God, this is great. That is when people started playing it and were like, dude, this is good. I remember the videos they came out with, the Destructible. They changed the fully destructible environment, the way they did it. They showed all the stuff, okay? And then Battlefield 3 came out, PC, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, 17 million. 17 million. That is the all-time peak of any Battlefield game ever. Battlefield 4 was broke and buggy when it came out. It took them 18 months to fix it. 14 million people bought it. 14 million people were burned. They went on a 1-2 combo. Battlefield 4 came out, beloved now, right? But a lot of people forget that Battlefield 4 was broke for 18 months. Okay? Then Hardline came out and sold 4 million. Pretty good. But at the same time, it's a 10 million drop from the one before. Okay? You went plus 11 from Battlefield Bad Company 2 to Battlefield 3. And then you went down 3 million, and then you went down an additional 10 million. So within 2 years, or 4 years, they dropped 13 million copies of people. Then Battlefield 1 came out, 25 million players. They don't even keep track of actual sales anymore. Okay, players, 25 million players. If Battlefield 1 got 25 million players, okay, that's between on sale and giving it away and EA Play and all this other stuff, okay, that right there, you might get that number again with Battlefield 6. The landscape of video games back then, in 2016, was completely different than today. Okay, and then Battlefield 5 went down to 7.3 million, and they don't even have Battlefield 2042 on this list. Let's see if they have it. Battlefield 2042 reportedly sold 4.23 million copies in the first week. That's all we know. I think Battlefield 6 shatters that. I think they get about 7 million copies sold. Right? I think they do about 6 to 7, and then they'll end up with 10 to 12. All right, well, let's start. Let's start with this one, all right? So little things like this make me a little bit more confident with them, right? If you guys like what we do, we just cover news stories, have conversations. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. Okay. Battlefield 6 producer says Bad Company 2 was a huge inspiration for the new game, and you can't argue with his logic. when you look at the excellence in the legacy, that's where you find it. Okay? And this is why I've always said Battlefield Bad Company 2, even though it didn't sell as well as Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, the reason Battlefield 3 and 4 strived is because of Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 did so many good things. Okay? It might have not been the greatest thing, but that was like the golden age of Battlefield. Okay? That was the golden age of Battlefield. Then 3 came in and added to what Battlefield Bad Company did. Then 4 kind of lost it because they botched the launch. They botched it. Okay? It says, since the first started hearing about the game that would also become Battlefield 6, EA has been talking up missions of recapturing the golden years. There it is, right? Battlefield 3 and 4. Well, it's definitely on track to do that after my 4 hours of playtime last week. What revved me up was how much Battlefield 6 reminds me of Battlefield Bad Company 2. Now, as a fan, okay, and I can't speak for Sarge because I know he's worse off than me right now. Like, he's like, I'm not doing anything, which is fine, okay? When I hear that, and I'm like, that's my favorite, Battlefield Bad Company 2, right? But because I've been burned by this company since 4, 1, Hardline, 4, Hardline, 1, 5, 2042. Okay, that's 5 consecutive games in a row where it's come out broke, buggy, in some way, shape, or form. And I'm like, I hear you. I like what I'm hearing, that this game is going back to the golden years, and Bad Company 2 is that thing. Okay? It says, it's well documented that Battlefield series follows the Mario Kart rule. The one that you play the most or first is probably still your favorite. For me, it says, nothing has stood out the test of time like Battlefield Bad Company 2. Curated, selected a selection of modes, perfectly sized maps, freeform destruction, and let players blow most buildings apart until they were nothing but a pile of disintegrated concrete. Right? And that was it. That was the first time. You always remember your first. Okay? Which wasn't my first, because Battlefield 2042 or 1942 was my first. But it was the best. The fully destructible environment and all that stuff is just amazing. Okay? It says, if those infallible qualities and particularly Bad Company 2 satisfying destruction that served as a huge inspiration for Battlefield 6, that according to the DICE lead multiplayer producer, Jeremy Chubb, okay, in an interview, PC Gamer at last week's Battlefield 6 event in Los Angeles, he says, quote, when you look at the excellence in our legacy, Bad Company 2 is where you find it, Chubb said. Good old Chubb. Okay. He says, quote, the game particularly delivered a level of fidelity, a sort of intimate destructible experience. Okay. He continued by blasting out a single wall, bringing down a partial building or entire buildings. It was comprehensive. It felt like the identity of the game more than anything else. It's exactly right. Okay. It didn't overshadow it. It just felt natural. You're playing the game and you're blowing stuff up. And when you're playing a military game, right? Like there's a very famous scene of Shroud playing 2042. He's in the jet. He's flying through the buildings, and then he hits a building and ricochets off the building, and nothing happens. He didn't blow up. The building didn't destroy. And that right there completely took you out of the immersiveness of the game. Okay, when you played Bad Company 2, it wasn't over the top. It wasn't unrealistic. It felt real. It felt like this is what would happen. If I hit this corner of the wall and this portion of the building fell, it wouldn't just hit and then everything would just fall down. It would just blow off that piece, right? Like you would see it and it would just blow off just the side of the building, or it would blow up, the bits and pieces of it. And it felt really good. Okay? As you can see, I don't know what footage this is. Looks like 2042. Yeah. All right. It says, we know what was also missing from the last game. It was really wanted to go back to that. Okay? The last game, there was nothing. 2042 missed the ball completely. But this is what EA does, right? Not DICE. This is what EA does. EA loves to put stuff in games, then remove it, and then put it back in to make it look like, hey, look at us, we've done it again, right? The cone of vision in Madden football is the best example. Okay, I asked Chubbs about Battlefield Bad Company 2 just minutes after finishing a match in Battlefield 6. Okay, on Liberation Peak, a map with mixed of mountains, villages, and roadways, and reminded me of how DICE built maps in 2010, wide open, but with a oblong-shaped design, funneled to action towards a few choke points. The map played that very well, and the destruction build didn't disappoint. Every wall and floor I tried to blow up did indeed blow up, like in Bad Company 2. Structures can only take so much punishment before the whole thing collapses, killing anyone inside. But you don't have to take my word for it as much longer because the Battlefield 6 open beta is coming out. Okay, so as a Battlefield fan, okay, and a lot of people say they played Battlefield, or, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, I played Battlefield. I've played every single Battlefield. I've owned every single Battlefield. The shitty ones, the bad ones, except Hardline. Okay, Hardline, I will argue to my grave, Hardline is not a Battlefield game. Okay, it's like a what was that one? Payday. Felt like Payday and Call of Duty. Okay, Bad Company. Everyone remembers Battlefield 3 because that was the most popular one. But Bad Company 2 was the OG of the next generation of Battlefield games. It all goes back down to Battlefield. And I'm glad when I hear this, I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is interesting. Right? If they can reproduce what Bad Company is. Now, I've seen the videos. I've seen the footage. Now, when I play the demo, I'll look at it and go, yeah, it does. It does feel like it. Okay? But my concern is not about that. My concern is about what they're trying to do with Battlefield. Because it looks like, from 30,000 feet, it looks like a Battlefield game. But is it? Where's the other? I'm waiting for the other boot to drop. I'm waiting for how much are the microtransactions coming to the game. I'm waiting for what's going to ruin this game, because EA does it every single time. They did it with Not only did they do it with Battlefield 3, 4, Hardline 1, 5, and 2042, but you got to throw in Star Wars Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 in there. Okay? They screw up every single launch in some way, shape, or form. They just do it. Right? So I'm just waiting for it. Right? I don't want this game to fail. I do not want this game to fail. But I'm okay failing if they try stupid shit. Right? Again, what is it? It's supposed to be the third time's the charm. Where are we at? The sixth time? This is the sixth time now? Is it going to work? I don't know. Okay. Let's go to this one. Let me see what you guys are saying before we go to this one. Buildings Bad Company 2 only fell when specific walls were taken out. UT wasn't just raising buildings rumbled just because the grenade went off. Right. Ron Slusher says Bad Company 3 hopefully adds Nicki Minaj and Beavis the Butthead. Well, it's funny. You know what's funny is that we thought they were going to go back to Bad Company for this version. And they're not going back to it. They're going back to Battlefield 3, 4. Excuse me. Right? But the essence are supposed to be Bad Company 2. Robert Jones says Transport Choppers and Battlefield Bad Company 2 is still my favorite. Ron Slusher says maybe Battlefield 6 can borrow the Anthem server. Yeah, those are open, I hear. I hear those are open. Eclipse says, man, the new Fortnite trailer is so good. Like one of the best trailers I've ever seen. Maybe post it in Discord, Eclipse, and I'll take it, and we'll look at it afterwards. All right, so Battlefield 6 will introduce classic maps based on fan or player request. Isn't fan and player request the same? Okay. And can I already see where this is going? We want to choose the best possible one to bring back the good old days of playing Battlefield. I'm not against bringing back old maps. Obviously, they have a couple old maps that are coming back. But I want new maps. I don't want old maps. I want new maps. If I'm going to play old maps, then put that inside of Portal. In Portal, you should have all your maps, right? In Portal, you should have every single map you've ever created inside of Portal. But for the game of Battlefield 6, I don't want old maps. I don't want to go back to an old map inside of Battlefield 6's main PvP conquest rush mode. Okay? I don't want to relive what I relived or what I lived back in the day. I want to play new maps. I want to make new moments. Right? Now, if you put it into the Portal, cool, right? I think the more the merrier. So it says, if there's one thing Battlefield Studios is trying to do with Battlefield 6 is to win over the hearts of old school fans like myself who have rightfully felt underwhelmed by recent games in the series. I'm looking at you, 2042. One surefire way is also remaking old maps, which begins of Operation Firestorm, a fan favorite from Battlefield 3 that's being revived in Battlefield 6, but this is just the start. See, I think that's shitty, to be honest with you. I do. If one of the maps that's coming out of the 9 maps is a old hashed map, then it's shitty. I think you should have 9 new maps, right? If you want to bring in an old map down the road, cool. If you want to put it in Portal, cool. Okay. In an interview, the media GNN during the Battlefield 6 multiplayer showcase event in Hong Kong, development director Anna revealed that Battlefield Studios will introduce classic versions of the maps based on fan or player requests. Just put them in. Why do I have to request it? Obviously, Metro is coming in, right? Everyone's going to ask for Metro. And then everyone's going to bitch about Metro. Simultaneously, they're going to hate Metro and love Metro all at the same time. Okay? Anna goes on to explain that they also want to choose the best possible one to bring back the good old days playing Battlefield. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. So in response to the same question, Game Designer adds a Portal, new Forge-like tools will allow players to create their own game ideas and versions, which I think is fine. If you're putting that in Portal, by all means, go ahead and do that. Okay? By all means, just throw anything you want to do. Like, hey, let's take the old maps, throw them in Portal. Let the fan base start to make them and do stuff with it. Cool. But to put them in like the main game, I don't know. But we'll see. It says, if I had to guess, there's classic maps that all be used supplement brand new ones in Battlefield 6 post-launch roadmap. As for iconic areas, don't make the cut. I've no doubt the community will also figure out how to recreate them in Portal, which I think is fine. Right? 100% I think it's fine. It's no secret that Battlefield 6 aims to leech off the love towards Battlefield 3 or 4. It's also played enough to both how immediately what will happen when it happens the phrases of classic maps and player requests join in harmony. Using the power of foresight, many hours of Battlefield in my younger years, I'm here confidently to predict that maps will also come out on top and also could potentially be added to Battlefield 6 post-launch. Right? He's coming out and saying Operation Metro. 100% this is coming back in. 100%. Okay? It's one of the most famous maps in all of Battlefields. Okay? If I also had to pick just one classic map, I think it would dominate any kind of community would be Operation Metro, going from a lovely garden to a dark, catastrophic metro, urban streets at the end. Yeah, it was great. It was also the demo when the game first came out, so everybody was tired of it so we played it so much during the actual beta or demo that when the game came out, we were like, no way. Okay. The canals is another one. Okay, Grand Bazaar is another one. I didn't really like that. I remember this one very fondly. Didn't really like this. I could do without that one. Shanghai, if the building doesn't collapse again and the whole evolution doesn't happen, don't even bother bringing it back. Okay, if you bring back those old maps and the building doesn't fall, don't bother. Do you know what I mean? It'd be really cool if the other buildings actually, now in this day and age, 2025, that the other buildings start to fall down, and then you're just in a complete wasteland. That'd be interesting. Right? So, again, I think Portal's cool. I get it. I thought Portal in 2042 was going to be bigger. I thought they were just going to release Portal as Battlefield, right? Because that is basically a Battlefield version of what Fortnite wants to do, Portal. okay, where you could create all the maps that you want. You can create the games, game modes, who you want to go against, what maps you want to make it on. Like, that is where it needs to be, instead of making 2042 what they did. But instead, we got 2042, and then we got Portal. And a lot of people that played 2042, old school guys, just went to go play Portal and started making the Battlefield Bad Company 2 maps, 1942 maps. They started doing all that stuff. They didn't even play 2042. Then they started fixing 2042, fixed the 8 maps from launch, brought them up to code, basically. And then they started adding more stuff to it and then trying to bring it back to what it was. It just never was the same. Okay. All right, so that's Battlefield number 2 story. And then we got the community update here. Then we have half the favorites are COD maps. Yeah, where there's no vehicles, right? This is a community update. Community update on open beta and road to launch. Okay. It says, we are prepared for Battlefield 6 early access beta starting this Thursday, August 7th, followed to the open beta on August 9th. We wanted to take a moment to reflect the journey of the Battlefield Labs, and now we've adapted your feedback, and we also expect the future of play sessions of gameplay iterations and prepared for launch. We also take a brief pause on Battlefield Labs during this open beta period. Once concluded, we'll resume our commitment to the feedback and continuation and improvement through this program. We're proud of a reception that we also have been with Battlefield Labs, and we also keep it monitoring, acting on players' feedback, data, and continue for our development. Okay, so closed to open weapons. Before I even read this, okay, I'm telling you right now, this is the way I feel. And it's because I'm skewed. It's because I'm a little cynical, okay? I think the only reason they're putting the choices in is because they're trying to make it look like there's an actual option. And I hope I'm 100% wrong with this, okay? I like the closed system. That's what Battlefield is. I want certain weapons closed for assault and, support, engineer, and recon. Okay? I like it that way. I don't want it open. But I believe that the reason they're doing this and testing it out where there's closed and open, they're going to tell you at the end of this, it was close, right? We did the test, and most of you guys like playing the open classes better than the closed class. Now, obviously, they can make up whatever they want to make up and tell us whatever they want to tell us. But in a financial way, just hear me out. Okay, if they can't really sell the skins of the actual costumes as much, they have to sell the weapons. Okay? And I don't know if they're doing this. This is just the way my brain works. Okay? If it's a closed system, and let's say you're a recon guy, but you really like the assault rifle, but you don't like using assault class. Okay? You're like, oh man, I would buy that. I just don't play assault class. That's a sale lost of the microtransaction. Okay? But if it's an open class and you play recon and you want to use that assault rifle and you can also purchase the skin for that assault rifle, you're going to make that purchase, and that's money that's not left on the table. Okay? If it's closed, way less sales happen for the cosmetics of the weapons. If it's open, way more cosmetic potentially could be there for them. All right? And that's where I'm coming from. I think they want to use the open one because monetarily, it'd be better for them. From a fan point of view, I want closed because that's better for what the game is. Okay, so it says closed versus open weapons. We recently shared our goal to connect both new and veteran players to Battlefield experience. There have been ongoing discussions about previous class systems, including interest in reintroducing closed weapons to classes as playlist options. Okay, to support different playstyles, we're developing a functionality that allows you to choose between closed and open weapon modes. Starting with an open beta, we're starting with a closed weapons conquest playlist in beta. You'll earn full XP progression in this mode, giving you the freedom to play your way. With the open beta, inviting you to the largest play session yet to encourage everyone to try switching between both systems to find out what works best for you. Okay? Again, okay, they want you to think that it's your choice, but I think they've already decided. Again, because monetarily, there's more opportunity to sell it with the guns and stuff. Okay? Hope I'm wrong. Okay? Maps and modes. We've closely tracking player behavior and traversal across the different maps played by Battlefield Labs, such as the below image of Siege of Cairo. Using this and other data, we've identified several areas of cross maps that also zone in on the change that better also flow the movement of the pace that also players traverse and each other. Okay, so here's a map, and you can see how people and where they spread out to. Okay, so you can see how people use the actual, and think about this, right? If they have this information, they have information of everything. They know how many bullets are being fired, what weapons are being used, who's cheating, who's not cheating. They keep track of everything. Okay, of everything. What's going on, Anthony? So several direct changes have also been made with the layout objectives, including improved cover, adjusted objective sizes, and tailored designs to support balanced play on both sides. We've also updated the visual look of the objective boundaries, positioned turrets across the map, further enhance the gameplay. Okay, we also moved the next phase of the map testing. Our focus is also to shift even more towards refining these objective layouts and iterating based on player feedback, except further adjustments will be approached the final stages of development. Since we also love the fast-paced action of domination, there's also exploring the best way to bring revives into the mode, a core element of Battlefield team play that I can also think it really fits. After seeing a positive feedback from players, we're excited to introduce reviving as a new mechanic, adding an extra layer of strategy to teamwork to the experience. Now, I like how they're leaning in to the team play, right? I like how they're leaning more into team play, because there's times at 2042 that you played, and it almost felt like Call of Duty when it first came out with the specialty classes and stuff like that. Okay. It says weapons, time to kill and time of death, okay, have been a frequent topic of community feedback with the input of balanced damage across the weapon pool, and eager to hear your thoughts on how the changes feel during the beta. I haven't played it, but what I've seen, okay, what I've seen from all the gameplay that we've watched, it's a little too fast. Now, if I want to play that fast, and I used to play hardcore mode all the time, that's instant. Okay, the TTK is instant on hardcore mode. One shot, one kill. You know what I mean? But for the regular mode, it seems a little too quick. Okay, just looking. I haven't played the game. Okay, we've also leveled up our weapons customization options. We've worked in enhanced overall clarity to make the UI more user-friendly, so it's easier to see how the weapons synergize best with each class. These improvements are designed to help you make more informed choices when building the loadout, ensuring that you can also quickly understand the strengths and intended roles for different weapons. To further differentiate the classes, provide unique weapons and advantages. These introduce signature weapons. Selecting a weapon that aligns with your class now grants you exclusive advantages for the weapon that no other class will benefit from. I don't know if I like this. For example, no other class will be able to utilize a sniper rifle as effectively as the recon. That sort of sounds like a specialty class, does it not? If I'm getting... See, this is... My brain, the way it works is... So let's say they go with the open system. They go with the open system, but if I'm a recon and I use a recon weapon, that's more like a hero shooter now, sort of. Okay? Instead of the advantages of I'm a recon, the locked weapon, and it's just he has access to those weapons. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be a sniper, you have to be recon in the closed weapons. But if it's open and you use a sniper, you have better. It benefits you more effectiveness. That sounds like a specialty, doesn't it? That sounds like a bonus to a character that shouldn't have it, because if you were just a sniper in the closed class, you would just be a sniper. That is the class. Not effectiveness. That's the character. He's a sniper. Give me a second, guys. I have to, it'll be like 4 or 5 minutes. All right. Sorry about that. That was going to take longer. We have someone looking at the house to replace the plumbing, and they have to come in because there's an access point here right behind me. They don't have to get in there, so we're good. All right. So, do you see what I'm saying about the if it's a open class system and everyone can use the weapons, if a recon or assault uses that type of class, then all of a sudden then they have more ability, like they get more bonus. Where the bonus, if you are a recon, is that you get to use a sniper rifle type of thing. I'm a little it's a little weird for me, but we'll see. We'll see what it is. Okay, it says the road to launch. Adapting and implementing feedback takes time. While the open beta will give you an early look at the class system, it's not the final adaptation. After the open beta has concluded, we'll open up more opportunities to shape up the class experience together before launch through the upcoming labs play session. Now, again, there's a lot of testing going on. And obviously, I get it. Internal testing, they've probably been playing for a really long time, okay, for the last like 6 to 8 months. And when they open it up to people, they can test out things way more because you get stuff like this, right? When they play internally, they can't do this. I've done examples of this before where I said, like, Tesla, if you want to map out a city and you have one car and you have one guy going around the city, it's going to take a really long time. But if you can sell the car and then people buy that car and start driving around, then you can map out the city much faster and you're making money, okay? So same kind of example here, right? Battlefield 6, I don't know if it's ready, okay? I don't know if it's ready. And my reluctance to say it is because of all the other past ones that have come out have never been ready, right? This game wasn't supposed to come out until early next year because of Grand Theft Auto 6 was in that place point, okay? But then it got pushed back to next year, and then all of a sudden now Battlefield 6 is ready to come out. Well, now they're doing the testing. Now they're pushing the stuff. Well, it's August. It's coming out beginning of October. We have 7 weeks, 8 weeks. Can they fix all the stuff they need to fix within the 8 weeks of time before the game launches? I'm going to say no. But that's just because of past experiences. Okay, so it says, today we wanted to give you a glimpse of the further changes that we can expect beyond the open beta and we had towards launch. Okay, Assault. While Assault has been recognized as a class of frontline medics and favorite among lone wolf players, we're now placing greater emphasis on team play. Okay, we reworked the traits of gadgets, assault officer, passive squad benefits, and encourage teamwork to provide a stronger support for the squad. The adrenaline injector, initially offering a self-healing effect, now clears and boosts resistance to flash and stun effects, enhancing tolerance to explosive incendiary damage. This improves movement speed. It also feels this will also reduce the self-sustaining perks and differentiate the team further from the support class. Assault class seems pretty OP right now. Commanding the presence and replace the enhanced mobility of the new signature trait, this trait also speeds up capturing objectives for nearby squad members and takes you and your team out of combat status faster. I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay. I don't like this. I don't like that how certain characters have certain traits to speed up. You want to speed up capturing the point, get more people on the point. Right? Now it changes the effect of the game because everyone's going to be assault off the bat. Because you could run solo, you can run team play, you have adrenaline boosts, you have less damage for incinerate, you have less damage for explosives and stun effects, okay? And you take over the flag faster. Right? So if the flag turns faster by the amount of people on the point, and then you also have assault guys on the point, you're going to take over super fast. Okay? Then if you have one guy that's really good at assault, he can hold a point and take that flag over by himself instead of with a group of people. Okay? This sounds bad. I'm not going to say terrible, but this sounds bad. Okay, we're also making substantial changes to the gadget pool, the assault class. We've renamed the spawn beacon to deploy beacon. And we're now part of the assault class gadget pool instead of recon. Why? Why? Because now recon, I think I know why. because recon's staying in the back lines. Okay? And when you have the spawn beacon, then people spawn on them, give away their point, and then they also are far away. But if you have the assault guy, plants the beacon, and then they can just be in the moment. But isn't that what spawning on your team was? Couldn't you just spawn on your team? Can you not spawn on your teammates now unless you have a beacon? I'm a little confused there. I'm trying to take it in, right? Although the deploy beacon has traditionally been a staple of a recon class, it hasn't been without its challenges, often being used by solo snipers to redeploy its hard-to-reach places. By removing it to the assault class, we're intentionally redefining it as a team play tool to frontline flanking and coordinated squad movement. See, that's exactly what it did. It's exactly why they did it. Okay. They took it away from recon because a lot of people that play sniper are far away. Okay. They're up on a building somewhere. They don't want to be seen. They're like solo players. Okay. Instead of spotting and doing a whole bunch of stuff, they're just sniping, doing their own thing. And then all of a sudden a guy spawns on you. And then you're totally out of reach of the point. You're super far away. You're giving away your sniper's point. I get it. But that's a lot towards the assault guy. This is the deploy beacon was also has a finite number of uses per squad and will self-destruct if the assault player spawns back on it, making it a tactical and limited source rather than persistent advantage. Okay. Well, there's the negative of it, right? There's the pro to con to it. So I can put it down, and as long as I stay alive, people can keep spawning on it. I have a whole squad of assault guys now. Think about how OP assault guy is right now, chat. Okay? I have an assault guy. Eclipse is an assault guy. Sarge is an assault guy. Jones is an assault guy. Group of us are all assaults, all moving in. I put my beacon down. I can't spawn on my beacon. Okay? I can't spawn on my beacon. It just says a finite number of uses per squad and will self-destruct. So if I have 3 on me, and you have 3, and then he has 3, and then we have 3, we have 12 respawns that we can go there. Okay? We could take over points faster. We take less stun damage, less incendiary damage, less... I don't know if I like that. Assault sounds way OP. Way OP. Okay, so a completely new gadget is being introduced, the Assault Ladder. This versatile tool provides squads with access to previously unreachable areas, functioning as either a ladder or a ramp depending on the deployment angle. As a powerful team play gadget, it enables assault players to lead not just their squad, but their entire team of obstacles, gain height advantage, and surprise enemies with new ways. Now, here's the thing I can see. This is nice for assault. The assault guy has a ladder, not the recon guy. Okay? So the assault guy is like, you're communicating. Sarge the assault, I'm a recon. I'm like, Sarge, can you put the ladder here so I can get up to the spot? Sure, right? So ladder gets placed. I go up to the spot. I'm now a stop on the roof, giving them sniper coverage while they're running down the streets or something, right? I get that. That's a nice, I like that type of thing. Okay, let's move to engineer. Look how big the assault class is, and then the engineer. We're pleased to hear the balanced feedback of engineer class, especially in terms of the core role in vehicle gameplay and explosives. We're eager to learn more about how well the engineer gadget pool supports the destroys the vehicles and how effective the engineer feels in direct combat. We'll also be closely monitoring the toolkit performance in large-scale battles. Are keen to hear your thoughts on whether they're playing as an engineer feels impactful and rewarding. Okay. Now, I heard from one of the other videos I watched, he said, I forget who it was, okay, that the engineer class can carry both a rocket launcher and also the one that goes for the, my brain just lost it, the airstrike one and also the ground, right? So you could take out a tank and a helicopter. In past battlefields, you had to choose. Am I going for the ground unit or am I going for the air unit? Okay? And in this one, you can have both on you at the exact same time. That changes a lot because that means people in tanks are not that strong anymore because, again, we can have 2 engineers, 2 assault guys, and you're spawning around people. You have 2 rockets now, well, 6 rockets or whatever it is, right? If you had 2 each, 3 each on each one, whatever it is, that's a lot of rockets, man. And you could do air and ground. That sounds bad. Okay, support. We received generally positive feedback regarding support. We're actively evaluating a few key areas of improvement. We're focusing on refresh rates of supply crates and how well the support signature weapons buff contribute to the flow of the game. We want to ensure support players feel essential to their squads, both keeping teammates supplied and boosting overall combat effectiveness. Well, first of all, support only works if you stay alive. And what I mean by that is you have to run out of bullets so the support guy can drop more bullets for you, right? Or you have to run out of med packs and stay alive long enough to run out of med packs. Or is it easier just to die and come back to the point? Be interesting. So what used to happen in Battlefield Bad Company and Bad Company 2, you would pick support, you would have your mortars that you had, and you would rain down mortars. You would drop the supply crate on the ground, and then the person that was doing the mortars would just keep resupplying. Then you would kill yourself, respawn on the guy, then come back as a mortar guy yourself, all right? And then you would start shooting mortars again, and you could be nonstop mortar bombardments because of timers, the way they were doing it, right? So it'll be very interesting to see what happens in this game, but it's faster paced, so I don't know if you'll be able to do that, okay? Does support give ammo, health in this version? It seems like it. It says supply crates, right? It says supply. So I would assume that that's what it's doing. Like if you're out of bandages, you have to get more from the supply guy. Okay, it says recon. For recon, we saw the opportunity of strengthening disinformation and sabotage components in the role. With that in mind, we set out redefine the recon training paths by removing Pathfinder and replacing it with Spec Ops, a nod to the stealthy, explosive focus class last seen in Battlefield 2. This is the path for anyone who wants to take the stealth function into their squad, providing them insight on troops' movement and quality of operating behind enemy lines. I like it. I do like that. Okay? This is sort of something that came out of, that you saw recently in Hell Let Loose. Hell Let Loose, there's a sniper class, and you can only have like one sniper, or two sniper classes. One's a spotter, one's a sniper, and you can have 2 of those classes, okay, groups. You would sneak behind enemy lines, mark things, see things, that type of stuff, which is cool, okay? Now it says this path for anyone who wants to take the stealth function to their squad, providing them with insight of the troops' movement, quality operating behind enemy lines. Spec Ops 0, your base class training available to start, allows the quieter takedowns, crouch, and probe movements. Okay, Spec Ops 1 spots nearby enemy gadgets, except when sprinting. Spec Ops 2, going prone, takes you out of combat much faster and removes the spot on self, which is good, right? So you want to level up, get to Spec Ops 2, sit on a mountain, and then just snipe people day after day. You know what I mean? All day long. In addition, the Recon class features active ability at level 3 that lets you call the UAV to mark positions of passive spotting, further enhancing your squad situational awareness. Together with the Recon signature trait, aim spotting, with automatically spot enemies while you're aiming down sights, you'll be fully equipped. See, I don't know about this. This, again, is like a trait, which also makes it sort of like an ability. And if it's an ability, then it becomes like a hero shooter type of stuff. I don't know if I like this. It says, what's next? The open beta and your chance to jump in to share your feedback. Check out the open beta readiness. So there you go. So I don't know if I like what I'm hearing. Obviously, I'll play it this weekend, give you my honest thoughts. Maybe we'll stream it and give you my thoughts as we're playing. But I don't know if I like. That sounds a lot like specialties from a hero shooter. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Robert Jones says if you spawn on your spawn beacon, it goes away like the old games. You just drop another one. Right. People will find a way. So let's say this, right? I'm an assault guy. We're all assaults, like I said before, right? We're all assaults. I'm the first one. I'm still alive. You guys died. I have my spawn beacon down. We only have a certain amounts. You guys are there. I'm out of bullets. We don't have a support guy. I just kill myself. Run out, kill, whatever. Give up. Then I come back, spawn on one of your spawn beacons, and now it's like this perpetual, never-ending, spawn beacon type of thing. And you're OP, right? Because now let's say I'm close to a flag. I'm close to a flag. Okay? You're close to a flag, and then you just keep doing the spawn beacon. You take it over. Super fast. Annoying because people are running around trying to find you, but they don't know if there's two guys or if there's a full team. All right, let me scroll back up real fast and see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. Sarge says, they want to be everything. They want to be COD. They want to be Ghost Recon. They want to be Warzone. All game modes show they want to be everything. Sarge also says, why would I be a class that uses a sniper rifle that doesn't get the benefits of using a sniper rifle? Because the skins look cool? No, the classes, though, the classes weren't specializations, though, Jones. They were just that you were able to use that weapons. In a closed system, the character using that weapon doesn't get bonuses for using that weapon. They just get to use that weapon. That's the difference. Right? Getting bonuses on top of you're giving an advantage to it's like double the advantage. Right? If I'm a recon in an open system, if I'm a recon, I don't get any bonus. I'm using recon. I'm a sniper. My advantages are I can shoot you from a far distance. Okay? You can't see me. I got a ghillie suit on. Those are the advantages of recon. But now in a closed system, or I'm sorry, in a closed system, they're like, well, you get to use the gun, and you get a trait on the gun as you're using the gun. Well, the trait is, in a locked system, is I'm a recon. I can use the sniper rifle. If you want to use a sniper rifle, you have to be a recon. But now in the open, if I'm a sniper rifle and I use a sniper rifle, I get a trait. Ray says, I'm replacing all my plumbing, too. I got a huge 6-foot, 7-foot deep hole in the front of my house. Yeah, we got to replace do the bathroom. The bathroom's like old cast iron pipes. So they could just stick with the Battlefield 4 system and took weapons and allow you to pick up perks. All you're reading now is balancing issues up the wazoo? Yeah. House says, this reminds me of how they broke Warlock was in Destiny 1 Crucible. They had a helmet that could also revive you running at full speed through the ghosts and trials. Yeah, it just seems I don't know why they're doing it, but they're doing it. I guess that's what they're testing, though, right? Why do I need a beacon? You can also just spawn your squad mates already. What the fuck are we talking about? Maybe you can't. Maybe you can in Battlefield 6, Sarge. Maybe you only can spawn on them with the beacon, and if nobody in your group has a beacon, then you have to spawn back at the base and run back up. I don't know. I think that's how people are spawning on the squad, is the beacons. Titan says assault centipede. Yeah, that's exactly right, Titan. Think about how OP it is, because they take the flags over faster. They should remove that from the game. That should not be a thing in the game. If you're an assault guy, you take the flag over faster. Taking the flag over faster is by the amount of people you have on the point. That's what it should be. That's what it should always be. They should remove that ASAP. Robert Jones says, Beacon, because you can't spawn in combat. So, okay. So, we're assuming that the beacon is, I can spawn on you all the time, but if you're on combat, I have to use the beacon. Is that it? Depends on how fast the capture speed is. 2 times versus 1. Yeah, but it shouldn't be any. There shouldn't be extra speed for capture of the flag if you're capturing a point. It should be, we have 5 people on the point, we're taking it over fast. Sarge says, so the assault has speed boost, boost damage reduction, spawn beacon, 2 primary weapons, and a ladder. Why the fuck am I anyone else? Just in case you want to revive somebody, Sarge. Jason says, so Battlefield 6 is already shitting the bed. I mean, I don't know if it's shitting the bed. I don't want to be hyperbolic. Jason, I'm just reading what I'm reading. Paper mache tanks. Yeah, I just think you should be able to you should be able to carry everything around with one guy. You want to have 2 engineers in your class and one's air and one's ground, but to be an engineer and carrying both ground and air. It says if you. So the way it says the assault guy, let me read it again. Okay, it says assault. It says, let's see, refers to the gadget, lone wolf, placing the team, trades, passes encourages teamwork, provides the support, offering self-healing, effective speed, and will reduce the self-sustaining support class, commanding the presence. There are also substantial changes to get the pool assault class. We need the spawn beacon or deploy beacon. And now part of the assault beacon. Okay. Although the deploy beacon has traditionally been a staple of recon class, it's also been without the challenges offered using the solo snipers and deploy. The deploy beacon has a final number of uses per squad and will self-destruct if the assault player spawns. The assault player, meaning you, right? The assault player. So if you're an assault player, I put the beacon down, I die, spawn back on my beacon, it destroys. But then I have another beacon. It doesn't say a assault player spawns. It says the assault player. Titan says it's generally good streamlining the classes, but there are also cons with the streamlining. E.g., engineer can now destroy both air and ground vehicles. But he could do that before, right? It's not streamlining it. You're making it super easy because the engineer could take out air and land, but you had to choose your loadout for that. So in the middle of the battle, if all of a sudden there's a tank in the city, we need engineer, we need ground. So then you come back as an engineer with ground. And then there's a guy shooting us from above. We need air defense, right? Like, then you come back as the air defense. But now you're like, I got it. Don't worry, guys. I got ground, air. I got everything. Waterbear says, Battlefield should always have locked guns based on the character type you choose. This is what makes the team game as separate from the COD. Having an open weapon system is dumb in Battlefield. 100%. If you want cross-train, go work in a warehouse or something. Aku says the spawn beacon would be better with someone other than the recon. Recon is generally far out of spotting. Already said that, Aku. I said that's the reason they're probably changing it, and then we read it, and that's exactly why they're changing it. Okay? But let's be honest. Don't give it to Assault. Okay? Because it's ridiculous. How about we give it to the support class who's supporting? If you want to give the support guy the ball to put the recon beacon down and he's got a supply crate, cool. But you're putting it to the assault guy. Titan says beacons offer a different spawn location and maybe a discrete location. I guess I'll have to play it and see it myself. Silver says you act like the assault class play the objective. Yeah, but they do play. They're the front line. Everyone's the front line in the game, unless you're a sniper, right? Engineer gets up in there, right? Blow a hole through the wall. Support guys there helping putting ammo and med packs down, or I'm sorry, bandages for the med pack, so the guy with the medic can actually heal people when he's out, right? You're working as a team, right? I think they're putting way too much emphasis on the assault guy right now. It's like the assault guy is the Swiss Army knife. Eclipse says, I'm watching the Madden gameplay. It's like the game feels like a real football, and all they're doing is just throwing deep balls. Well, that's all you had to do in every single Madden game from the existence, Eclipse. Back in 2002, you just did the running back runs out. If you scramble with if the running back runs out to the sideline and you take the quarterback and do a scramble, you could either wait for it and then run up and get a couple yards, or wait for the running back to run out to down the sideline, and everyone comes in because the quarterback is running, and then you just throw a deep ball to the running back, and the running back catches it. You can do that like on any team. It's been like that for like 15 years. Robert Jones says, I would go aggressive recon, take a beacon, use it at closer range, sniper or carbine. If a recon player has that, first of all, you can put the spawn beacon on your guy. You don't need to have the spawn beacon on your recon guy. And you're establishing stuff. So if a recon guy, instead of just sitting back and just shooting far from the distance the entire time, he can run up and establish another point, which is between the next point and where you came from. Right? I think people that play recon just don't do their job a lot. A lot of people are supposed to spot. They don't spot. A lot of people are supposed to communicate. They don't communicate. If you're not spotting and showing people on the map and you're not talking, you're just a solo player. Sarge says, who gives the ammo? Support guy, I would think. Sarge says, who gives the ammo? Why does it matter? If I can just die, respawn on a beacon with full ammo. Very true. Aku says assault, support, and engineers should be on the objective. The sniper spots and communicates with them. Yeah, exactly, Aku. It's exactly right. Well, all the tools they are also giving assault. They also definitely lock weapons. They have to lock weapons. Locking weapons is what Battlefield is. But I have a feeling they're not going to do it. And if anything, they'll be like, oh, well, there's going to be certain game modes with locked or unlocked. And they're going to keep both. Titan says, if you die, you lose tickets. You lose. Yeah, but if that's the case, the one person on your team that dies, okay, if you have medics on your team, your medic is always going to constantly give you it back, right? And, right, so if there's more people reviving and you're just dying, okay, it kind of balances out. And if you have a good squad, your squad can survive, right? If you're down, you get revived, he's out of med packs, the guy supplies more med packs, more ammo, you're working together as a team. But right now, it seems like everyone's going to be assault. Heavy assault. There's no downside to be a non-assault. I'm sorry. There's no downside to being assault. You have more intake of incinerate, explosive, stun damage. Then you have a beacon, right? You take flags over faster. Once you have established dominance over the 3 flags, then it's just defense, stand there and hold. You don't have to take all 5 flags over. I mean, we're talking conquest. In Rush, same thing. I do like the weapon system I saw, as far as you get like a point system, and you can put certain things on your gun. So you get like 100 points to spread across. If you want to put a certain scope on, or a silencer, or extender, or whatever, you can like back and forth. I like that because I don't think you can have all the best things on your weapon. There's always like a pro con type of thing. At least that's the way it looks at it. Let's go on, Z. Sarge says locked weapons is how progressed your account. You had to each class to unlock a better weapons by being in each class. This is what kept people coming back to unlock all the guns. Right. Which I don't know if they're going to do. We'll see. We'll see. So they're making some changes. I don't know about the air ground like rocket launchers. I think they need one or the other. I don't think you should be able to carry both. But then we have one more story, and then we'll watch Legendary Drops video. Okay, we got EA's reportedly censoring all mentioning of Arc Raiders in chat function. Users have found that if you type Arc Raiders into EA chat system, the two words are replaced by a bunch of hashtags. This is potentially linked to Embark Studios CEO Patrick Sunderland's being a former EA vice president and CEO of DICE. Arc Raiders generated a lot of interest in early 2025 with the April beta playtest. It looked played and handled really well, and people were clamoring over and get keys to enter. The game is also set to release in October, although we don't know if its full launch date yet. It's also been found out that EA is censoring mentioning of the game is in chat system, but not other games. Arc Raiders mentioned banned by EA is claimed. So a user, Patriot04, was testing out different game names using EA's chat feature. The video showed them typing in Call of Duty, Marathon, GTA, Fortnite, Escape from Tarkov. They all displayed as normal. One game wouldn't show, though. Arc Raiders. Instead of the game's name, it's censored. It doesn't display. Interesting. It's unlikely this is Photoshop trickery, but it also could be a possibility, so keep that in mind. If this is real, it's quite a remarkable piece of censorship by EA. Okay, Embark Studios CEO Patrick Solan, who also executive vice president of EA before transitioning to chief designer officer. He also been a CEO of DICE, once of the main focus behind Battlefield. Sutherland also left EA in 2018 after over a decade and went to form Embark Studios, part of Next Network. It's also hard to tell exactly if EA's motive behind the action is. So do you think it's purely coincidence, or is it innocent technical errors? I don't think it's technical errors. If that's not photoshopped, which obviously we can't tell anymore, but if it's not photoshopped, I mean, right here it says Hi Arc Raider, right? It says right there, then Embark, but it says Arc Raider, not Raiders. So it's a little weird. Would they do it? Yeah, I think they would. Robert Jones says, "Do they censor the finals?" It's a good question. I don't know. They didn't say that. Well, actually, did they post it in the thing? No. Yeah, I don't know. Excuse me. Why is that happening? It's happening because the ex-DICE developers. And the game's coming out at the same time, I would think. Eclipse says, yeah, this might be the first PvP game I buy in a while. Can't remember the last PvP game I bought full price. All right. Let's go from that to, this is a 23-minute long video. This is by Legendary Drops. This is called There Is No Way They're This Stupid. Well, I beg to differ. Okay.
There is no way they can be this stupid. How is it that none of these gaming publishers ever learn from their mistakes, and how does their leadership keep their jobs? We keep having these candlelit vigils for all of the developers that have lost their jobs during layoffs, but we need to be pointing our fingers at these brainless CEOs that keep sticking a fork into a light socket and wondering why it shocks them.
I mean, it's true, right? The movie industry is doing the exact same thing. Why aren't people coming to the movies? I don't know. Let's make another shitty movie. Why aren't people coming to the movies? Video games the same way. Why aren't people buying our video games? Well, it's because they have shitty stories or you're pushing a narrative. What?
WB Games following a massive shakeup at that company, studio closures, layoffs, and more, all stemming from the high-profile failure that was Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, is now saying, you know what? Let's throw our hat into the ring another time, and they're making another live service game.
Oh, he's talking about live service. Okay. It's loud.
And it's DC related. We have publishers with a treasure trove of incredible IP. Yet for whatever reason, they just keep making the same games over and over and over and then pretending like nothing ever happened. There are audiences, likely people that are watching this video right now, that would much rather see something new or something fresh or, God forbid, something that we haven't seen in over a decade. But no, you get another live service.
I already gave you my opinion on the live service. I think they're coming out with a Marvel Rivals, right? They're coming out with Marvel Rivals. DC version.
Game. Brother, may I have some oats? Today, we are talking why WB thinks that Suicide Squad is worth another try. There's a joke I could make there, and I'm definitely not going to be doing that. How they're maneuvering their way through $38 billion in debt, and why whatever...
38? I thought it was 50. Wow, they got 14 or 12 million out. Good for them.
Whatever they do isn't really going to make much of a difference. You know, I am of the mind that at the highest levels in this industry, these guys are just into getting fin-domed. They just zip up the Gimp mask and throw money into the shredder. Lately, I've been having a hard time picking out which gaming publisher is becoming more of a laughingstock these days. However, seeing the direction of WB Games over the...
They're gonna make a Mortal Kombat live service game that's like Marvel's Avengers. You get to beat all the different characters, and you got to level up the character.
Past couple of years, I think that they're making a really strong case for themselves, whether it's putting out games that nobody wanted, high-profile failures, ignoring valuable IP that gamers actually want, or turning Mortal Kombat into Mortal Minivan Karen Apocalypse. They have done a lot of damage to their reputation. Seriously, who thought those designs were a good idea? Oh, never mind. I guess it was actually the entire company that thinks it's a good idea. Actually, I made a video earlier this year where I was covering the bigger picture, how WB as a whole has been bleeding value and racking up debt. They lost nearly 40% of their net worth in the last 5 years. They're buried under nearly $40 billion.
Jesus Christ, man. 40% of their net worth in 5 years. $40 billion in debt.
Dollars in liabilities thanks to a tangled mess of mergers and acquisitions, and recently they pulled the old Ubisoft maneuver by splitting the company in half and shuffling their debt around like it's a magic trick. Now the TV side, Discovery, CNN, and the streaming side is going to get the bulk of it, while the movie and game division is going to walk away a little bit lighter. But let's not kid ourselves. This is not a fix. This is just them kicking the can down the road, and the way that WB Games has been handling itself lately, well, you know, setting a lot of money on fire. I doubt that can is going very far. Now, to be fair, last year things were looking promising. Mortal Kombat 1 did sell well enough, and Hogwarts Legacy was a
monster, man. 35 million copies sold. 35 million copies sold, and then they went, we don't want to put any DLC out to that. We're going to just make a sequel, which I think was a mistake. I think they should have taken that DLC, put it out, and made more money off of Hogwarts Legacy 1.
Monster hit, one of the only games in the past decade to outsell Call of Duty. Over 30 million copies sold in 2024. It had people hopeful for the studios, for the IP, for WB's future, but that hope didn't last. Because instead of building on that momentum, they did what every modern publisher does best. They got greedy. WB followed up Hogwarts.
Yep. Instead of putting this inside of their already hit of Hogwarts Legacy, They decided to put a separate standalone Quidditch game that bombed harder. Well, actually, it's not harder than Concord, but it was gone in a blink of an eye.
Hogwarts Legacy with Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, a standalone multiplayer game that never found an audience. It peaked at around 6,500 concurrent players on.
Ooh. Ooh. Jesus. That is bad.
Steam and quietly disappeared from the conversation. And looking at it now, it's obvious that they didn't put Quidditch into Hogwarts Legacy specifically because they were planning to sell it to us later. And then came the crowd.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And we actually said this while we played Hogwarts Legacy. I said they have the stadium, they have the stuff, they should put it in there, but they didn't. Why? Because they wanted to sell it to us later.
Crown jewel of their bad decisions.
They could have made it an online thing where you play Hogwarts single player like a Grand Theft Auto. I have a video about this, right? And then they had an online version where you could do adventures with your friends and stuff. And the Hogwarts castle was like the hub, like the Destiny Tower.
Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, a $200 billion disaster posing as a live service game. From the moment that game dropped, it was a certified meme. Bland character designs, every hero wielding a gun because, surprise, it's a looter shooter. The UI was a cluttered mess, neon vomit all over the screen, and nearly every progression system was monetized to hell. It peaked at just over 13,000 players on Steam before.
Jesus. That can't... Did Suicide Squad come out in February of 24? It's been a year and a half since we played that? Holy shit. Wait a minute. When did Hogwarts 23 came out, right? Because Hogwarts didn't come out the same time as Suicide Squad. Hogwarts came out in 2023. He said 2024 earlier. Holy Christ.
It collapsed, WB cut support, laid off staff, and now, less than a year later, that game's essentially abandonware. And speaking of abandonware, right around the exact same time that Suicide Squad was imploding, WB also announced that they were shutting down
They were so stupid. So stupid about this game. So stupid about this game. This game could have been so much better than what it was. They killed the hype from when it was out in 2023. Okay, then closed in 2024, came back in 2025, and 2022 to 2023, then closed it 2023 to 2024, then came back 2024 to 2025, and then they ruined it.
Multiverses, which still blows my mind because this is a live service fighting game that actually had an audience. It went through early access, multiple betas, and then they just kind of let it rot. The dev team missed content deadlines, failed to deliver new characters, and the player base just...
This was a non-stop IP rejuvenation. Like, think about this, chat. They came out with a Looney Tunes movie, Porky Pig and Daffy Duck Save the World or whatever. They could have promoted that in this, right? Game of Thrones, they could have promoted in this. Batman, Superman, they could have promoted in this. All their movies are coming out in the DC new reverse universe, and they decided to kill the game before the reboot of all of the DC stuff coming out. Harry Potter, HBO show, okay? Right? They decided they didn't want to do anything with that. Like, I don't understand. It's mind-boggling. This should go down, and they should teach this in school on how to have a vision and completely ruin it within 12 months. Don't do this.
Lost interest. This isn't rocket science. Drop a new fighter every couple of months. Throw in some fresh cosmetics.
Every couple of months. They could have put 2 characters in every single month for the eternity of time. They could have put so many characters, so many IPs in here at one time, and they didn't do it. Marvel Rivals right now is doing it right. 12 characters in 1 year. It's 1 character every month on average because they changed it, right? But 1 character every month for the entire year. They could have done that easily. Easily. Where's Scooby-Doo? right? Put Scooby-Doo in there, right? Add more Tom and Jerry, add more Harry Potter, add Harry Potter, right? So many characters they could have put in. Put the Riddler, right? Put Brainiac in, put Lex Luthor in.
And rotate the maps. It's not like they needed to reinvent the genre. They just needed to keep the machine running, but they couldn't. And that's what makes this also funny to me, because for all of the desperation to build a live service hit, they actually had one, but they couldn't support it because they didn't have the talent, the structure, or the experience to maintain a live service game. They wanted that live service money.
And the best part is they didn't have to pay a royalty because they own all the IPs.
But they weren't equipped to earn it. But that doesn't mean that they aren't going to keep trying, because what's the old adage? When you fall, just dust yourself off and throw another $300 million onto the fire. In an article written by Lincoln Carpenter of PC Gamer titled, "After losing $200 million on Suicide Squad, WB has enough..."
That's still a misconception. They didn't lose $200 million on Suicide Squad. They lost $200 million during that quarter.
Other live service game in the works based off of iconic IPs from the vast Warner Brothers and DC
And there was multiple things that came out that quarter.
Comics catalog. It's happening again. They write, "If the last decade has taught us anything, it's that live service game development is this industry's equivalent to high-stakes gambling, where publishers ante up millions of dollars in hopes that their game will hit the jackpot of becoming a lifestyle like Fortnite or Roblox." But as we've seen...
That's what they're chasing right there, right? They're all trying to chase Fortnite, Roadblocks. They're all trying to chase that type of game. Even Battlefield's trying to do it.
From countless failed launches, almost nobody hits the jackpot, when even Destiny 2 is having a hard time maintaining its place as a forever game fixture. The bet seems like a bad one. Warner Brothers, however...
You know what's funny to me? The companies that come out and say, we have a 10-year plan, never have a 10-year plan. The people that don't come out and say anything about a 10-year plan, they're here for 10 years.
Apparently hasn't met a gambler's fantasy it didn't like, despite losing a combined $300 million with Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League and Multiverses.
What's that? Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
Once a franchise standing tall, a king upon the field. The hype was real, the trailers made the fans believe and feel. But then came the launch, oh what a bitter fight. A broken game, a shattered name, left stranded in the night. No scoreboard, no classes, just chaos in the storm. Promises of glory, but the game was far from norm. Oh, the maps were wide, but the hearts were small. Battlefield 2042, how could you let us fall? 18 months to fix the pain, patch by patch, but the scars remain. A player base lost, trust betrayed. Can the next one bring back the good old days? Empty servers, refunds made the headlines loud. Players left for other games, no cheering in the crowd. DICE promised updates, but the damage was done. A shadow of its legacy, where was the fun? Hazard zones forgotten, breakthrough broke apart. Portal had the promise, but couldn't find its heart. But now they're teasing the next big thing. Can they rebuild the battlefield and make it sing? 18 months to fix the pain, patch by patch, but the scars remain. A player base lost, trust betrayed. Can the next one bring back the good old days? teamwork, the moments, the glory we'd see. Can they bring back the magic, the camaraderie? Or is it just another dream lost to history? 18 months to fix the pain, patch by patch, but the scars remain. A player base lost, trust betrayed. Can the next one bring back the good old days? So here's to the future, to hope once again. Will Battlefield rise, or just cause more pain? The battlefield's calling, but will we hear the sound? Only time will tell if redemption can be found.
All right, sorry about that. I get some food for my son. What's going on, Elio? How are you? All right, let's continue.
New job posting indicates that WB Games is once again chasing the live service dream. The listing is for an executive producer position at Gotham Knights developer and Suicide Squad support studio WB Games Montreal. In the job description, Warner Brothers says the executive producer will lead the development of a high-quality AAA game based on one of the iconic IPs from the vast Warner Brothers and DC Comics catalog.
What do you guys think it is? Do you think it's a DC or just a Warner Brothers? Like, do you think it's just a live service? Like, could it be a Game of Thrones? Right? Is it a Game of Thrones live service game? Is it a Harry Potter live service game? Or is it a DC live service game? I'm going with Marvel Rivals-esque type of stuff, right? DC Rivals, or whatever, DC Heroes, DC whatever.
The listing doesn't tell us what IP the unannounced game will be based on. Given WB Montreal's over, I wouldn't blame you for speculating that it might be something in the larger Batmanosphere, but based on the following job responsibilities specified in the listing, we get a clear picture of what kind of game Warner Brothers has in mind. Oversee all phases of development from the concept to post-launch live operations. Oversee post-launch content and live service strategy, ensuring ongoing player engagement. Additionally, the posting lists deep understanding of full game development lifecycle, including live services, under its preferred qualifications. I just don't get it. You guys have had 3 live service games crash and burn in the last 3 years.
The problem is they didn't have to crash and burn. Suicide Squad could have been good, but you had to fight Brainiac 13 times. Hey, Suicide could have been good. You were doing the exact same thing, but instead of in this rooftop, you were in this dimension on a rooftop, right? They went to like the bare bone minimum of doing the same thing, right? Marvel Multiverses, or not Marvel Multiverses, okay, had endless IPs they could have brought in, cross promotion for movies and television shows and anything from across the multiverse, and they decided, nah, we're going to close that down too.
You've likely torched $500 million at this point, and somehow your best response is just to keep feeding the machine. What are you guys doing? I actually agree with the PC Gamer article here. They're saying that this is high-stakes gambling. That's exactly what it is. WB isn't investing, they're betting. And even with Hogwarts Legacy pulling in...
Right. So, we've talked about this in the past, right? Think about Hogwarts Legacy, as he just said it. Hogwarts Legacy, 35 million copies sold. Right? 35 million copies sold. So let's just put that just bare bone, 35 million. What was it, $60 or was it $70? I think it was $70, right? That's $2.4 billion. $2.4 billion. Now hold on a second. They could make that in a month. Not in a 7-year cycle trying to make another Hogwarts Legacy. They can make that in a month. All they got to do is put the least amount of viable product out, right? Minimal viable product out. And if they can hit the tone like a Marvel, this is why I think it's DC Rivals, right? Like a DC Rivals. Because if they can put that out there and they sell one skin at $10 a piece, and there's 100,000 people playing or 1 million people playing, and it's just a really awesome looking skin, right? Boom. That sells. And now they've won the lottery. They're looking for the lottery ticket. Right? They're looking for the lottery ticket. Fortnite spent 8 years developing Save the World. They pivoted and made Battle Royale and never looked back. They made so much money on the free-to-play Battle Royale game that they can open up studios, buy other companies, make the Unreal Engine for movies and stuff now. They made the volume. They've done so many things. They've gone to lawsuits with Apple to try to get into more places. They've gone to lawsuits with other people at Google. That's how much money they're making. This is what Warner Brothers is trying to do. Warner Brothers is trying to find the golden goose.
Insane numbers. None of that is going to make a dent because they just keep reinvesting that same money back into the casino. 30 million copies sold and the company is still barely treading water. And instead of stepping back and recalibrating, maybe thinking about the games that you're making or the quality of those games, they just keep borrowing, pushing harder, and winding up broke again. Look, I get the temptation. Everybody is seeing the kind of money that these live service, gacha, and mobile games are pulling in. It's real, it's massive, and it's very alluring, especially to your shareholders. But the part that these executives don't seem to realize or internalize is that the games that are succeeding right now, or the ones that are doing well, usually have two things working for them. Either they are strong mechanically, or they have some type of long-term cultural presence that just keeps people coming back. You can dunk on Genshin and Fortnite all day, but the reality is they're well-made games. They're
perfect example, right? Genshin's not a well-known brand. It's just good-looking, and it's good gameplay. Solid gameplay with attractive characters. It's not a Sonic. It's not a Mario, right? Power World. Why is Power World? Power World's not this well-known thing, but it works, and it makes billion. Why? Because it's a fun game. Imagine making a game and then selling a game and then worrying about the stuff.
They're consistently supported. They have built systems that people engage with and talk about. WB doesn't have any of that. And beyond that, these games carry weight. Genshin, Fortnite, Roblox, they have mind share, and that's not something that you're just able to create out of thin air. They've become cultural landmarks, especially for younger audiences. And I mean, everybody saw all the memes that were posted because of Darth Vader inside of Fortnite. I don't know what it is about that game, but these guys just continue to catch lightning in a bottle over and over again. It's like they print memes over there, but I just don't see a DC-branded live service game having that kind of pull. It doesn't mean that DC is bad or irrelevant, but in the context of live service, I just don't see it having the draw that they think it has. It works for single player, it works for narrative, but trying to force that IP into a lifestyle game, I just don't see it happening. And I'm not saying that Marvel is better. That's not the kind of argument I'm trying to have right now. But it is a data reality that Marvel has broader cultural recognition right now, whether it's the accessibility of the characters, the consistent out.
Yeah, but Marvel's brand is damaged, but yet Marvel Rivals is succeeding, right? Marvel's brand is damaged, but yet certain Marvel things are succeeding.
Output from Disney, or just the sheer volume of content that these guys put out, they're just more present. And right now, presence within live service really matters. That's the reason why something like Marvel Rivals,
what game is this that he's playing right there,
does really well. These games live and die by mindshare, and trying to turn DC characters into live service anchors, it just doesn't expand the audience. I think it shrinks it. Anytime you make a game with an established IP that's outside of gaming, it's like a funnel. You're sifting players through a filter. Do they play games? Do they like the genre? Do they like live service? Do they care about our IP? Do they like our take on that IP? At every single step, you're going to lose people. And when your characters aren't household names, that drop-off becomes lethal, because that was the part that really hurt Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. Sure, the game was absolutely garbage, but beyond that, most of the people had no clue who the playable characters were. Playable characters, obviously not the heroes themselves. People know who the Flash and Batman and Superman and all those guys are. But
how you made, I mean, we talked about this before the game even came out. How you made a Suicide Squad game and not a Justice League game is beyond me.
But outside of Harley Quinn, you really don't know the rest of those guys, or at least not a lot of other people do. And that's a problem when you need 300,000 active concurrent players across all platforms to be able to break even. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's not just hard. It's delusional to act like this is a safe bet, especially when the other option that you have, one that is already proven to work for you with Batman Arkham series and the Hogwarts Legacy game, is just to make a high-quality single-player title. Something in short supply that people obviously want right now. But I mean, hey, who wants to sell 20 to 30 million copies when you can make $1 billion annually off of microtransactions? If you guys want a mind's eye view into what these executives are thinking, I'll give you a demo real quick. Saying that WB...
Yeah, but the IPs like Marvel and DC, even DC, are usually very expensive when it comes to licensing. Sure, but the people making the game for Suicide Squad, wasn't that a WB company? Isn't that owned by WB? I don't think Peter has to pay Paul there. I think they already got. I think they already got the licensing there. That's the mind-boggling part for that, right? Now, obviously, people making Marvel Rivals have to get the license. NetEase has to get the license for Marvel and stuff. Same with EA with Star Wars. But the people that were making Montreal, they're part of the WB publisher and stuff. They're part of the underneath the head. They didn't have to get the license at all. They were given the license and said, "Here, make a game."
Montreal is the one that's making it, and also seeing that Marvel Rivals just popped off recently, I'd bet a fair share of money that it probably went something like this. An executive saw that, went into a boardroom office and said, "I have an idea. We'll make a hero shooter."
It's exactly right. It's exactly right. It's like he's a fly on the wall. This is exactly how it happened. Let me rewind just in case you guys missed it. Hold on.
Are thinking, I'll give you a demo real quick. Saying that WB Montreal is the one that's making it, and also seeing that Marvel Rivals just popped off recently, I'd bet a fair share of money that it probably went something like this. An executive saw that, went into a boardroom office and said, "I have an idea. We'll make a hero shooter, because if it worked for Marvel, it will work for us." And then the crowd went wild.
Yeah, that's exactly. This I'm gonna change your speech here, Legendary. Okay, this is what actually happened, right? This is exactly what happened. Guy came in, right? We got the people that made Suicide Squad sitting at the table. You got people making multiverses at the table. You got people at Hogwarts making the table. Okay, they're all sitting there. Guy comes in, bursts, kicks the door open. Why the fuck are we not making money like these guys? And they're like, Hogwarts is like, "Well, we made money." "Shut up, Hogwarts. You're a single-player game. We need to make money." But we made $2.4 billion. Yeah, it's chump change. Fortnite over here is making $2.4 billion in May. Okay? Suicide Squad, you're out. Multiverse, shut the doors. Be like, "But we have so many IPs." Shut up. We need to make DC Rivals right now. Get to it. See you guys later. That's what happened. There was no idea. The idea was these guys made money. We're doing this. That's what it is.
The dumbest answer almost always ends up being the right one when it comes to these guys. They are so detached.
Yep.
This is just how simple.
Agreed. 100%.
Simple-minded they are. Nepotism will do that to you. I swear, I just heard all for one when I said that. I swear that if in a year from now we see a teaser trailer for a hero shooter based in the DC universe that looks like Marvel Rivals, I'm going to start making videos calling for the jobs of these CEOs. Probably
Please do. Please do.
should already be doing that to begin with, but this is just getting out of hand at this point. We already see where the money and the players are falling right now. We have a decade of success.
No Eclipse. Nobody does that until it shows proof that it's going to make money. When it shows proof that it's going to make money, that's when they go all hands on deck. Okay? Nobody wants to take the risk and go, "Hey, I want to make a Battle Royale." But then Battle Royale made money. Remember, Cliff Blasinski made a Realm Royale, and there was another company that made a Royale, and there was like 5 or 6 Royales that all came out right after Fortnite became successful. PUBG was making money. No one jumped on the bandwagon. Fortnite came in, and everyone was like, "Well, they're making money. They're making money. Let's scrap everything we're doing and make a Battle Royale." That's what they're doing chasing extractions now. That's what they're doing chasing Battle Royales now. That's what they're doing for hero shooters now.
Successes that you can look at, and these guys are just ignoring it. Everybody is leaning towards well-made fairly priced single-player games.
I wouldn't even say you could take the single player game out of there. He's right, right? Majority of the people are looking for well-made, well-priced single player games. But I think you could take that single player game out. Well-made, well-priced game. I think people want to play co-op games, right? Split fiction, well-made, well-priced co-op game. Okay? Like, that's a co-op game. Helldivers, well-made, well-priced co-op game. So I don't think people are looking for single-player games. I think people are looking for the first two. Well-made, well-priced, and then that's it.
That's what people are looking for right now. Those games always can print money as long as you actually deliver on what people are looking for. Games that are letting developers cook rather than these paint-by-the-numbers, trend-chasing, investor breadwinner games that you guys keep trying to make. You are ignoring your customers. You are ignoring the audience. You do not deserve your job.
He's 100% right. They don't deserve their job. But it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. If they can come, and I use this example all the time, analogy for movies. If a studio can come out with 10 movies a year, and one movie is a blockbuster, it doesn't matter. They get to keep their job, right? They got it wrong 9 times out of 10, but that one film, right? Right now, Marvel and Disney is struggling with movies this year, okay? You have a Lilo and Stitch, but then you have Avatar at the end of the year. It's the anchor. Right? Avatar will clean up any negatives that are in the boards for the money for Disney because Avatar is going to make $1 billion, if not $1.5 billion. Okay? That's what happens with video game companies. Right? This is why Xbox is going to succeed because they're pumping out a numbers game. They're putting out more games. Either it's third party or first party. They're putting games on Game Pass. If one game takes off, and keeps it in, it makes up for the other 8 games they put on there that nobody cared about, right? That's what they're looking for. That's why studio heads are looking for these types of live service games.
You published one of the highest selling, one of the fastest selling games in the last decade. You looked at that success and said, nah, we're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go and make a live service game.
And I think he's talking about Hogwarts. Hogwarts Legacy was so popular. They could have done anything. I'm telling you, if they did an online version like a Rocksteady for Grand Theft Auto, if they did Hogwarts single-player game and then they came out with a live service aspect in the same world, whoo, buddy. They're sitting on a game right now that would make gold for them. But they're not doing that. You know what they did? They said, we're not doing DLC. We're not doing anything. We're going to make a Hogwarts Legacy 2. Now, maybe Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to be that Rockstar type where it's Hogwarts Legacy single-player game and then a multiplayer game online, maybe. But they have something right now that they refuse to do anything with. They're like, yeah, we're just going to sit back. If they wanted to make a live service aspect, they didn't have to ruin their game. They could just add to the thing that they already have 35 million people that played and loved.
Your customers rewarded you for making a good decision, for making a well-made and fun game that they enjoyed. And you took that money.
Oh, that's coming, Altern. That is coming. Don't you worry. You have to give them time. Helldivers just came out. By next year, we're going to see 3, 4, 5 games. By the end of 2026 into 2027, you're going to see Helldivers out the wazoo.
Wiped your ass with it, and you invested it back into live service, into a market that is oversaturated and that nobody wants right now. What are you doing, man? What are you doing with yourself? What's even more frustrating, and this is something that I think is a bigger issue, just kind of industry-wide, but they have so many other games that they could be making. One of the things that really struck me was that they came out and said that they are focused on making Game of Thrones, DC games, Harry Potter, and Mortal Kombat. I think that was the only ones that they said. Outside of that, they're not going to be making anything else. So it's just those 4 IPs that they're focused on. And while those IPs do have some strength behind them, I definitely think you can make some pretty good games. You have so many other games that you could be making, but you just don't. One of the weirdest trends that's taken over the last decade is just how tunnel vision these publishers have become. Year after year, they are narrowing their focus down of their entire catalog to like,
yeah, Star Wars Republic. You could do the Bad Batch with that, Jason, right? You could do the old Republic, or I'm sorry, the Republic Commandos. You could do the Bad Batch. You could do ODST for Halo. Hell, you could even do Superhero. Superhero would be pretty cool, right? You have just the city to protect. You drop into the city, and it's just hordes and hordes of guys trying to take over a city, and you're trying to protect it as superheroes.
3 or 4 franchises, and they're just running it into the ground while everything else is just rotting in a vault somewhere. And I know,
yeah, there you go. Green Lantern Corps. It's crazy
that people are going to be like, oh, you're just nostalgic and that's all it is. But no, this genuinely makes sense because these companies are leaving valuable IP on the table when they could be expanding their portfolios, refreshing their offerings, and avoiding the burnout that comes with serving the same reheated slop year over year over year. Capcom is a perfect example of this. They're sitting on Dino Crisis and Power Stone. Right now, horror games are thriving again, and Monster Hunter has become a global phenomenon. So tell me, how is it that the game that blends those two concepts together is still MIA for more than 20 years? Same thing goes for Power Stone. I was at my local game store the other night playing Magic the Gathering, and the owner had Power Stone matches running in the background. God, I love that game. With the popularity of Smash Brothers, Rivals of Aether 2, and even WB's now abandoned multiverses, Capcom could easily pivot their Street Fighter pedigree that they've
100%.
built over the years into a platform fighter with a massive cast that they could pull from all across all their different legacy franchises, and yet they've done nothing. And it's not just Capcom. Chrono Trigger and Parasite Eve are still collecting dust at Square Enix. Sony hasn't touched Legend of Dragoon in decades. Blizzard has ignored StarCraft. Ubisoft has sidelined Rayman. And it's just like everybody has picked a lane and they just hit the gas and they just will not pull out of it. These companies, they all used to experiment constantly.
Why make StarCraft when you have World of Warcraft, right? You're still making a shit ton of money off of that. Why make this when you have Overwatch, right? Why make Elder Scrolls 6 when you have, Elder Scrolls Online? Why make the next Grand Theft Auto when you have Grand Theft Auto Online? Why do these things when they're still making bank of money? And everyone thinks that, oh, well, I'm having fun playing the game. Well, yeah, you playing this online game nonstop, giving them money for cosmetics is the reason that you're not getting the next game.
Platformers, ARPGs,
most of the population doesn't understand that the reason they're making games like this is because the small population, the minority of gaming, likes to spend money on microtransactions instead of playing a full-price game, right? The minority of gamers like to spend money, and 20% makes 80%, and that's where they're going. They're not going with the majority of the fan base. They're going with the minority that's giving them extra money on top of the $80.
Turn-based RPGs, FPS titles, weird one-off games that they would make. And now they just say, well, we make 3 games and that's it. And I think that's killing the industry. I think it's killing it creatively. It's shrinking the skill set of every single dev team. It's making audiences more critical of every single sequel, and it's bleeding out the kind of cultural variety that used to make gaming exciting in the first place. I think that's why indie has done so well over the last few years. Then you have WB, who just comes out and says it straight face that their future is focused on Harry Potter, DC, Mortal Kombat, and Game of Thrones. That's it. Meanwhile, Monolith is getting saddled with superhero projects that quietly get scrapped when they could be reviving something like Condemned, or God forbid they could make a Fear game. I mean, still to this day, there's nothing quite like that game. Tactical, psychological, atmospheric. There is so much room for a game like that, but they have just left it buried. And it's not just the horror stuff. They own the entire Midway arcade library. With how hot ARPGs have been lately, why not revive
It's like Gauntlet.
something like Gauntlet? They've got the rights to the Matrix, but they haven't touched that since Matrix Online 20 years ago. They have the entire Hanna-Barbera, Looney Tunes, Scooby-Doo, Jetsons, Flintstones, all of that other stuff, and they just don't use
What? I still don't understand how Multiverses is closed down. Everything that he just labeled there, that's all could be in Multiverses.
any of that stuff outside of the Multiverses game that they made and then abandoned a year later. The problem is, I look at everything the WB owns, all the IP that they're sitting on, and I look at where they're actually...
This is a great fucking game. Great game.
headed, and I know exactly what to expect. They said that they're wanting to focus on Game of Thrones, and what's the first thing that they do? They partner with Netmarble and make some weird, clunky, pay-to-win mobile game. That was the grand plan. That's the vision. Not a high-quality RPG, not a story-driven epic, but a mobile grinder designed to milk whales and peddle nostalgia. Why wouldn't you just give that Game of Thrones project to Monolith and let them build a Shadow of Mordor-style game with the Nemesis system? It's literally perfect for that universe. Betrayals, political backstabbing, shifting
I don't understand how they don't make a Game of Thrones game like that. Makes no sense.
rivalries, that kind of dynamic AI
So like let's put the system in a Wonder Woman game. Let's do the Nemesis system in a Wonder Woman game. What?
structure fits Game of Thrones like a glove, and it would actually play to the strengths of that studio that spent years developing and refining those systems. But instead, Monolith gets saddled with a superhero project, and one of the most adaptable gameplay systems in the industry just gets wasted. You know what? While we're on the subject of Monolith and Shadow of Mordor, why not just form a strategic partnership with Embracer to license the Lord of the Rings IP again? Embracer obviously has no idea what they're doing with it. The only thing that they've put out is Tales of the Shire, a cozy farming simulator. Meanwhile, WB has an internal studio with actual experience working in that world. They could offload some of the financial risk, they could split the cost, and they could make a Lord of the Rings game that people actually want. It is one of the most recognizable and underutilized properties in all of gaming, and both companies would benefit from doing...
Right, Eclipse? She has like 5 villains. 5 villains, and people know the whole Game of Thrones world idea of about the war. Yeah, it's amazing, right? People ooze of the lore and stuff of Game of Thrones. People know nothing about Wonder Woman's who her enemies are.
Literally anything worthwhile with it. And the thing that really pisses me off with all this lack of using other IP is what it's doing to the people that are actually making games, because you got teams like Monolith who built one of the most innovative systems of the past decade, and instead of letting those guys evolve it, WB just shoves them onto DC games for support or sidelines them altogether. Studios don't get to build what they're good at anymore. They just get told what trend to chase and when, and that's just the job.
Well, that's the difference between an independent studio and someone that works for the corporation, right? Independent studios get to decide what they want. Corporations tell you what you're going to do.
Now, it doesn't matter if it makes sense. It doesn't matter if the team wants to make it or even if the audience is asking for it. It's just marching orders from executives who have never even designed a game before in their life. And when the whole thing eventually collapses, like it definitely...
Well, it's not even design a game. They've never played a game in their entire life, let alone design a game in their entire life.
It's not the executives who get cut, it's the developers, the designers, the writers, the QA testers, the artists, the people who spent years grinding on these systems that were doomed from the start. Live service games just aren't bad bets, they're meat grinders. They've been destroying this industry, and the longer this cycle continues, the more it's going to burn out the people who actually make games worth playing anymore. It's no wonder why so many veterans have been leaving to go work at smaller studios or go start their own, because the system doesn't reward creativity anymore, it punishes it. And the reason this keeps happening is simple, short-term thinking. That's all it is. These publishers do not greenlight projects because they believe in them. They greenlight projects because somebody else's version already worked of it. Marvel Rivals is trending. Let's make that. Fortnite is printing cash still. Okay, we'll copy it. Baldur's Gate 3 did numbers. Hold on a minute. Too bad. We're already locked into a superhero gotcha MMO with a 12-year roadmap.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm gonna rewind that for a second.
Because somebody else's version already worked of it. Marvel Rivals is trending. Let's make that. Fortnite is printing cash still. Okay, we'll copy it. Baldur's Gate 3 did numbers. Hold on a minute. Too bad. We're already locked into a superhero gotcha MMO with a 12-year roadmap and a $200 million investment, so we can't really make a game like that. There's no vision, no patience, no long game. These guys are just chasing somebody else's success without even knowing how it worked in the first place. You just can't build a legacy that way. You can't even build a company that way. Every single new IP getting viewed as a gamble. Every established one is milked until the audience hates it. And the moment that a project stumbles, even slightly, these guys are going right back to the safest idea possible, which usually means something live, something branded, and something completely devoid of risk. That's how you go from publishing Batman Arkham Asylum to Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. And the worst part is these guys actually think it's a plan. At some point, we just have to call it what it is. Mismanagement at the highest level. WB isn't just making bad decisions. They are making the same bad decisions over and over while pretending each one is a new and bold strategy. They are sitting on some of the most recognizable IP in the world, and instead of letting their talented studios take creative risks and play to their strengths, no, they are forcing them through the same broken funnel of live service monetization and trend chasing.
Well, the worst part is they're not even trying to fix the stuff that's broke. They just say it's over, and that's the lifespan. Like when a gamer plays a game, there's like this small window, right? It's like this first impression type of thing, right? If I play a game and I like it, I'm hooked. But there's that moment after that you could lose me because of a change you make, or you stop supporting it, or you're moving on to the next thing already, and then I'm done. Before I even done playing with the actual game, I'm just done with it. That's how easy it is to sway. And so they don't go back and fix Anthem. They're like, that's what it is. Sorry, that's what it was. Right? They have the opportunity to fix certain things, but they don't. They just close it down, close up shop, that's it, it's over, without trying to fix it. Sometimes they fix it, and they go, well, they get it up to the standard it was supposed to be at launch, which is not really fixing it. It should have came out a certain way, and then they could have continued supporting it. Instead, they come out broke, buggy, unfinished, and then they take that time to get it to a point where it should be stable. But they've already moved on.
And for what? Games nobody plays, layoffs nobody ever learns from, a company that just keeps lighting more and more money on fire and calling it innovation. The players know it, the developers know it, and the only ones that are still pretending like this makes any sense are the ones that still keep getting promoted for it. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's just sad at this point. It's just a vicious cycle that continues and nobody wants to break the wheel. We just keep seeing them make the exact same mistakes over and over again. They keep losing money. We keep losing out on bad games. These developers keep losing their jobs. And all the meanwhile, these executives get away on a golden pair.
Yeah, but they wouldn't lose their jobs if they just made a good game. I don't think Suicide Squad's a bad game. It was just poorly implemented because of the stuff they did. I think the single-player aspect of Suicide Squad was good, but they didn't market it as a single-player game. They marketed it as a live service game, and as a live service game, it was shit. Okay? But if they marketed it as a single-player game, I think it would have been fine. But because they marketed it as a live service game, it failed. Multiverses wasn't a bad game. It's actually really good, but they went back and changed a couple things, and then they just didn't support it anymore. And then they monetized the shit out of all the new characters coming out. You can't monetize characters. Characters are the product for that.
Parachute. You know, in a lot of cases, I wish for failure on some of these companies because I do not like the way that they operate. I do not like how they are not serving their audiences or how they don't treat their developers well. But the one thing that sucks about all of this is that for every single bad game or canceled game that we see come out of these studios, it's another 5 years or more or never that we're going to see a good game come from publishers or studios.
You know what? Do you understand why I'm upset about Battlefield 6? I'm not mad at Battlefield 6. I'm mad at Battlefield EA for fumbling the ball for Battlefield for the last 15 years.
That we want to see good stuff from. You know, I would kill for a good Lord of the Rings game. Man, that would go so hard. I have no idea why that IP is like the least used IP in all of gaming, even though like the vast majority of the gaming audience loves Lord of the
Jason says Suicide Squad was lazy in every aspect. The single player was good. If they just sold it as a single player game with no microtransactions, no live service, and just told a story, I think it would have sold fine.
The Rings. I know that it's owned by Embracer, so we're likely never to see a good game out of those guys. We've already seen that already with the Tales of the Shire or whatever it was called. But imagine a Baldur's Gate 3 CRPG Return to the King. God, that would go so.
That would be good. Why would you even say that? That would be fantastic. Now I'm upset. Now I'm upset because I know that'll never exist. He said it. I'm excited for it, and it's never going to exist.
So hard. Why am I doing this to myself? I mean,
that's exactly right.
I would settle for a Shadow of Mordor or something simple, but no, probably not. You know, part of me wants these companies to fail, but at the same time, it's just such a damn waste. It really is. And I don't see WB Games turning things around anytime soon. That company needs a massive shakeup. They need new leadership. They need a new vision, one that does not include live service, because I think that that's just a cancer for those guys. Yeah. Otherwise, they're just going to continue to gamble away all of their money and all of their IP to the point where they don't have anything left, and they start selling that IP off, and they start selling some of these studios off, and then it's the hope that those studios and IP go somewhere where it actually gets put to work. But as we've seen how that's worked over the past couple of years, that doesn't happen. You know, I was looking at it earlier, and out of the past 5 years, out of the top 20 games, 2 of them have been live service. There's been 25.
Hold on, let me rewind that. Out of the last 5 years,
20 games, 2 of them.
Out of the last 5 years, out of the 20 top games.
You know, I was looking at it earlier, and out of the past 5 years, out of the top 20 games, 2 of them have been live service. There's been 25 AAA live service games in the past 5 years that have been released, or more, 25 plus, I think is what the number was. I don't have the exact numbers on me. And 5 of them actually found success. I was going to say 6, but the 6th one was Diablo 4, which as a game, sure, sales-wise, it found success, but as a live service, I think that...
Kitty, get off the computer.
The game is completely cooked. There's just no way that they're making money on that game. 25% odds on a $300 million bet with the future of my studio at stake and all of my employees. That's not a bet I would take. Not me. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy the video, like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitch, follow me on Twitter, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Stay cool, stay righteous, stay safe. Peace.
Family. All right. Links in the description down below. Yeah, it's absurd. WB making the exact same mistakes over and over and over and over. All right, let's see. Did you guys put the Play August 7.0 build and Battle Royale? Fortnite. Let's check out this. Let's check out the trailer for the new Fortnite thing here.
When the bugs came, everything we knew was taken from us.
Here you go. This is Helldivers right here. You guys were talking about Helldivers, right?
Hope faded faster than we could fight back. We thought it was the end of times. Turns out, it's morphin' time.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I love how they just redid the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, like the same style of the TV show. Copyright. That's it. Whole channel's demonetized now. What's happening? Voltron. Wait a minute. That's not... Wait a minute. They're putting Voltron and Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Halo? Is that what that is? The hell is happening? What the hell is happening? Oh, it's Magnazoid? Okay. I was like, well, first of all, I saw that. I thought it was Voltron. So you get to be the giant robot. Are they putting Halo in the game too? Fortnite knows what it is. It isn't anything. They just keep evolving it. They just keep evolving it. So are they gonna have a Helldivers mode where you just drop in? Eclipse says apparently they're gonna have an energy sword, so hopefully the elites are in there, and that's also be cool. Fuck your member berries. So Fortnite now copied Helldivers? I mean, we don't know. I mean, it says it's in Battle Royale and Zero Build and Battle Royale. So it's within that world. It's not a standalone game mode. So there you go. Fortnite. See what else is happening. I do love how they did the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger commercial. Come on, those look exactly like the Helldiver bugs. I mean, sure, but I'm just saying the game mode. Did you notice the date that it comes out when the beta comes out for Battlefield? Oh, is it? I didn't even pay attention to that. When is Splitgate gonna? Splitgate's done. I'm sorry. Splitgate's done. Even when they do come out with their revamped Splitgate, whatever they're doing over there, it's done. Clip says, "You mean the bug from Starship Troopers?" Yeah, it's all. They stole it from that, and they stole it from that, and no more deploy beacon clown cores for recon players in Battlefield 6. The assault class will get them instead, and we're potentially redefining as well as template. Yeah, they're talking about that in a different article from PC Gamer. Battlefield 6 file size revealed, and it's smaller than expected. Yeah, what's that? What's the file size? 53 gigs? Game requires between 55 and 80 gigs. Okay. I'm excited for this game right here. Marvel Cosmic Invasion. Hold on, they played it. Official Silver Surfer, Beta Ray. Did we know about Rocket Raccoon and She-Hulk? I guess we did, right? Yeah, we got 15 unique superheroes. Do they show them all here? No, they don't. Oh, why this is not playing? Well, never mind. I'm excited about this. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? I'm excited about a 2D scroller. This just oozes my childhood. When does this come out? Do we have a date for this? Do we have a date for that? What's going on, Mr. Luke? No, I didn't play the Power Ranger one. I didn't even know it came out. I remember they said they were going to release it. I don't remember them doing it, though. When did that come out? Well, the company that also is making this is very good at doing what they make. Make a game, sell a game. Yep. Make a game, sell a game. Marvel Cosmic Invasion asked the all-important question, what if Marvel vs. Capcom was a 90s arcade beat-em-up? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Do we have a date? I don't think we have a date yet. This is just for the Beta Ray Bill and Silver Surfer. Like, come on. This is great. I don't need massive storytelling. I don't need super graphics. I just want fun. Yeah, this is great. No date yet. Hopefully it comes out October. Galactus in the background. You got to fight Galactus, right? You're going to fight his head or something? All right, so far we have Rocket Raccoon, She-Hulk, Wolverine, Captain... all right, yeah. We're still missing... You think they're going to put Thor? No, they have... not Thor, sorry. You think they're going to put more X-Men guys in here? They got Wolverine, and they got Storm. I wonder if they put, like, Groot or Starkiller. They'll probably put Starkiller in. Who are we going to put? What is this fun you seek of? Yeah, I got 15. Right now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 4 more. 15 at launch. Didn't they say they're going to add more afterwards? I mean, they added more in the Teenage Mutant Turtle one. All right. Guys, I need to know, is this real or fake? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I can tell. I need you guys to let me know if this is real or fake, all right? All right, here we go. Is this real or fake? Yeah, I can't tell. It's really hard to tell if a pig falling from the sky is real or fake. Can't tell. John says real. Over. This is okay. I didn't do this story before. This will be the last thing we talk about. Okay, I said something in the beginning of the show, but I didn't talk about it. Over 9,000 people were sitting on Battlefield 6 open beta and Steam, all right, messing about with settings. Nearly as many people who were playing 2042. People were messing with settings. There was more people messing in the settings category for Battlefield 6 than was playing Battlefield 2042. Let that sit in for a second. All right? Let that sink in for a second. More people were in a settings video doing the settings in a game that doesn't come out for 3 days than we're actually playing the game that's been out for 4 years. It looks like EA may have hit a head on their hands after 9,000 people were sitting in Battlefield 6 open beta on Steam after a preload went live. You could preload the game early on 8 a.m. Pacific yesterday, August 4th, letting you fans download the Battlefield 6 open beta ahead of early access opening at 1 p.m. According to SteamDB data, there was enough interest in Battlefield 6 open beta to hit 9,463 concurrent players. Days before the open beta itself goes live, at the time of the article's publication, the beta has 3,805 concurrent users right now, just sitting there. Okay? So what are the people doing in the open beta? Lots of players are getting ahead of the game, setting their options, taking 30 minutes or so to edit the interface of colors and weapons in field of view, for example. Others are just using it to share excitement with friends. I have 6.4 hours in the beta total so far. Hey, you're not in the beta. You have 6 hours of just sitting on the screen? What is wrong with these people? Okay, some are reporting having to spend time getting around to EA's frustrating restrictions and PC launch. It looks like unless you have a secure boot turned on your BIOS, Battlefield 6 Open Beta won't run at all. So there may be players trying to sort that out, which I was doing yesterday, which I couldn't do, so I can't play it on PC. So I got to wait for the Xbox version. So it's so nice to able to test the game and boot it up, set everything up, and prepare yourself for excitement moment. That is just ridiculous. Every Battlefield game rank. Battlefield Bad Company, S tier. Battlefield 3, agreed. Battlefield 1, A, yeah, I agree with that. Battlefield 2, I'm gonna swap. I would swap Battlefield 2 with Bad Company 1. I'm sorry, did they put Battlefield 2042 in the C category? First of all, this whole line right here needs to drop down to D. Okay? Where's the rest? Where's Vietnam? Where's 2142? Wait, what are we talking about here? Where's Battlefield 4? Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute. I gotta put the things down. I was like, wait a minute. I'm confused. Battlefield 4 S tier. Okay. All right. Now we're back on track. Battlefield 2042 B. Yes. Battlefield 1942. I would probably... I would move this one up. This one down. Vietnam is B. 42, I would put that in an A class. It was ahead of its time for what it was. This is definitely not going... They're missing 1943, by the way. I don't see a 1943. 1943 would be a B tier as well. Hardline, Battlefield 2042 is D. It's pushed down there. Hope you guys like Battlefield, because Battlefield looks like the only thing that's being talked about for the next week and a half. 30, what's your motherboard? It's a, what did I say yesterday? MSI Z7, no, I'm sorry, Z170. I put it in Discord. Hold on. Please hold. My motherboard is a Z170A. It's not on the list. I checked yesterday. So I can't play it on the PC. Vietnam was a standalone game? Yes. Time of death was 0.2 seconds. It was awesome. The best part about that game was you would get in the chopper and you would get to play music. Yeah, it was awesome. I only played the one that was attached to Bad Company 2. Yeah, no, it was a standalone game. It was great. It was great. Yeah, I can't do it. It sucks. Hence why we're trying to get a new computer. So I realize my computer is from 2015, so it's 10 years old, and I've only upgraded the graphics card and the hard drive. Yeah, the hard drive, power supply, and the graphics card. Oh, and the RAM. So FYI, Battlefield 6 beta is 37.56 gigabytes on Xbox. Thanks, Ford. Yeah, we'll play that. So what day do I get to play? Because I don't have the early access now. So it's what, the 7th and 8th? Or is it the 9th and 10th? Right? Early access is the 7th and 8th. Which is what, Thursday, Friday? And then everybody gets to play on the 9th and 10th? 9th and 10th, okay. Yeah, so maybe I'll go live on Saturday night, and we'll play it. Yeah, I never got the key. I was supposed to get a key, but never got a key. You know, I've only been a Battlefield fan and part of Battlefield since the early 2000s, like actual account. You know, God forbid they would give me a key. Purchased every single Battlefield known to man except the last one. I think you get like 5 days for the next beta they got. Oh, which is the following weekend, right? All right. That's going to do it. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We're probably going to play some more Gratitude this evening over on 30 and Still Gaming. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a great rest of your afternoon, day, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Once a Franken standing tall, a king upon the field. The hype was real, the trailers made the fans believe and feel. But then came the launch, oh what a bit of fight. A broken game, a shattered name, left stranded in the night. No scoreboard, no classes, just chaos in the storm. Promises of glory, but the game was far from normal. The maps were wide, but the hearts were small. Battlefield 2042, how could you let us fall? 18 months to fix the pain, patch by patch, but the scars remain. A player base lost, trust betrayed. Can the next one bring back the good old days? Empty servers, refunds made the headlines loud. Players left for other games, no cheering in the crowd. Dice promise updates, but the damage was done. A shadow of its legacy, where was the fun? Hazard zones forgotten, breakthrough broke apart. Portal had the promise, but couldn't find its heart. But now they're teasing the next big thing.